me tell you something, brother. You better get ready for the tag team event of the century, dude. It's not happening in the ring. It's happening on your speakers with the most bodacious, the most hilarious podcast of all time. Ooh, yeah, dig it? It's a podcast that's more unpredictable than Hogan ratting out Ventura and the boys to Vince at Wrestlemania 3. We were this close to health insurance and retirement funds, brother. This close. Oh, wow, Macho, this is what we're doing? Okay. So these two dudes with attitude, they're taking you on a wild ride, brother, all throughout wrestling history. Pay-per-view reviews, watch-along matches. These dudes are the true originators of the madness that Macho Man claims to be all about, Jack. Well, yeah, brother. Well, how about saying your prayers, taking your vitamins, and letting your friend record you bouncing around in the bedroom with his old lady? Well, let me tell you something, Macho Man. At least me and none of the maniacs took Stephanie McMahon to her junior prom. Ooh.
Is Hogan selling the face/throat? Pause.
He said he's selling the face and throat.
I didn't mean like selling face. Did I just say that?
So all you hulkamaniacs and jabronis, grab your vitamins, eat your Nugenic, strap in, and get ready for more grabs than a 5-star Meltzer Classic in the Tokyo Dome, brother. Don't miss out. Ooh, yeah. This podcast's gonna be hotter than a habanero in hell. So grab your headphones and let the madness begin. Dig it? Ooh, yeah.
Welcome back to the BA and Wise Man Show. You already know what it is. It's BADBIC, aka Black IRS, aka the B for the motherfucking East BA Bigelow at y'all service this evening. Man, after a downer of a WrestleMania, I'd say, because that WrestleMania 2000 stuff sucked. I just gotta call a spade, Wise Man. But before I get into the way better experience that we have for the folks here this evening, man, how you doing this evening, brother?
We're doing extravagant. Because we got a lot better extravagant. Sensational. It's great. It's great because we got a lot better selection today of the Graps, and this is one that is near and dear to my heart. Shout out to my dad for showing me and buying this VHS tape as a fucking kid. Oh, nostalgia runs deep in this one.
Yes. With that said, and I can't wait to hear his take on it, as far as how he has the heavy nostalgia with this one, and I do too, to a certain degree, but we'll get into it. But it is the follow-up from last year's WrestleMania that we talked about, WrestleMania 2000. This is now WrestleMania 17 X7, if you will, as it is being presented to us here. Interesting choice. I always like to talk about like the title and the fonts of the WrestleManias because it's all synonymous with the time frames. I feel like it just kind of brands what's happening there. So you got the X, which signifies the 10, and then they write out the 7 as SEVEN. Not the Roman numeral of it. It's very interesting to me. Did you ever peep that, Wise Man?
Oh yeah, I mean, I never actually like called it out like that to where it was weird, but like now that you mention it, yeah, that is kind of weird that they made that choice. I don't think they've ever done that on anything else. This is like the one Mania they've done that.
They do that kind of stuff, man. It's a choice. That's as most choices can be with when we talking about the E or the F as they are at this point in time. But yeah, man, like I said, WrestleMania 17 takes place Houston, Texas, the Astro Dome, humongous venue. As you can just tell from watching this, just feels big. If y'all remember me in the last episode, it was a lot of just me talking about how that WrestleMania 2000 didn't feel like a WrestleMania. Like it looks and feels like No Mercy. Like the black everything, the lack of Titantron, the lack of set. It just looks like a pay-per-view or shit, a house show even. Like, it just didn't look that great to me, not that impressive. And Vince heard the complaints, I feel like, financially complaints of people not buying that WrestleMania as much as others. And the fact that not having their first round draft pick, if you will, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the flag bearer of the company, top merch seller still to this day, not present. Right, it's crazy. It's not present for your WrestleMania, so handcuffs you to a degree. But when you do a tale of two WrestleManias and you look at those cards back to back, man, there were some choices.
Well, I'm gonna tell you some of the numbers on the Tale of the Two Tales right now, and there's a reason why it seemed like a house show. WrestleMania 2000 drew a little under 20,000 people. Ooh. Okay. WrestleMania X7, their official attendance rate was over 67,000 people. Man, that is compared to a modern day WrestleMania. WrestleMania 40 just had what, 72,000?
Yes,
I think. Yeah.
Both
so
nights, yeah.
you're talking 5,000 shy. Which when you're talking in the 70s, tens of thousands, 5,000 isn't going to matter that much. If you're AEW, matters a lot. But also the buy rate, you're in the low 8s for 2000.
Wow.
This had over 1 million on the buy rate.
Wow.
So they gained over 200,000 on the buy rate. There was a big factor why you thought that was so lackluster on 2000s, because this was a lot bigger. Just crowd, buy rate, promotional, card, everything.
Yes, sounds like it, man. Didn't know the numbers were so poor for 2000. Doesn't surprise me when you see the product at that time. But man, when you hear the financials, no wonder Vince is probably sweating, to say the least. Because this is right. I want to say this is right before they go public. As far as
publicly traded? Yeah, I think so.
It's right before that. So imagine if they didn't get this rebound of a WrestleMania, that we had another stinker somehow. Which has happened in the past. They have had stinkers back to back. So that saved this WrestleMania, I feel like. And when I say stinkers, I talk about WrestleMania 8 and 9. Because those are some stinky main event situations.
Never watched them.
Oh yeah, we'll dig into it one day. This ain't
please
the year.
don't.
But he said, please don't. Man, we need to get BetterHelp as our sponsor for Wise Man, because I've put this man through some trauma with the graps here with some of my suggestions. WrestleMania 8 and 9 would be some traumatic stuff. Shout out to Big T, if you will. If you know, you know. If you watch those WrestleManias, those are big time Terry going into business for himself, especially 9.
That makes sense. that makes a lot of sense.
9 is wild. But fast forward back to 17. You said the card, night and day. Mostly because like in WrestleMania 2000's case, there was so many more just cards or matches on that card that shouldn't have had the time that they got, and the matches of similar fashion got the time that they should have got on this card in WrestleMania 17, which is about 2 to 3 minutes for your bullshit matches. Let's just call it what it is.
Exactly.
And they put matches that deserve the time in the perfect spots in the card for 17, whereas I could argue there wasn't many matches that deserved time to the degree of which they got some of them for 2000. But hey, it's WrestleMania. You got to fill up the card. So I'm not going to rip their heads off for what they had to do. They had a bunch of chicken shit and tried to make the best batch of chicken salad that they could.
And they just made a mediocre pot of chicken shit. So.
Yeah, man.
It wasn't that good. But on this one, this card is a whole lot better in my opinion. We got 11 matches from top to bottom. Some of them, it sounds like a lot. 11 sounds like a lot. But you got what? There's at least 3 or 4 matches on this card that are sub 4 minutes.
Right.
So
the
absolutely short.
Are longer than some of them.
Exactly. I mean, this is sitting through a Roman Reigns entrance modern day. That's the whole match. And you got bullshit like China squash matches, the battle royal that has to be in every Mania for some reason. Exactly. Stuff like that, which honestly we will watch along to a couple of those. Yeah. Just because they're entertaining and crack some fucking jokes, because some of that shit is absurd in the Battle Royal.
Yeah. Shout out to
but do you have the card up, or do you want me to start at the top of the card?
You can start at the top of the card. You know I don't come prepared to these things called podcasts. I just show up.
It happens.
It's terrible.
I feel that.
Don't be like me, kids in the podcast world. Prepare and come prepared to your shows. Don't just show up like I do. But I got a great partner. That's why I do that, man. I got a great partner at Crime here. He's always prepared. So we call him the wise man around here.
Especially for X7, because the opening match to this card is one that is actually near and dear to my heart, because again, I owned this VHS tape as a child, and this was always the first match to come on, even if I didn't watch the whole thing. I always watched Chris Jericho and William Regal for the Intercontinental Championship.
And you wouldn't think that's a match. That's a must-see.
You wouldn't think it's a match
for a young wise man.
But they had a great story leading up to it.
Oh shit!
Because
that word.
William Regal was abusing power for weeks and weeks and weeks, getting Jericho's ass whooped by multiple people. Dude put him in a fucking 3-on-1 match with Right to Censor and got beat down. And then finally, Jericho pissed in Regal's coffee and cut promos on all types of shit.
Iconic promo of Chris Jericho's time at WWE.
Iconic. I love it. And he said his favorite word is P. His favorite letter of the day is P. And literally took a fucking piss in the dude's coffee pot, or the teapot. I'm sorry.
That'll be in his promo package when he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Most definitely it will. But the small work and the small story that they built the weeks before. And then another thing about this Mania, the promo packages on this Mania are second to none.
Oh man, yeah, they definitely hired somebody new from the year prior.
I don't know what they did, who they cut a check to, but this dude was putting up some fucking Jordan numbers when we're talking video packages, because he gave you the information, made it entertaining, good music, good editing, the whole shebang. And for those of you who don't know, this is where the meme-tastic My Way video package comes from Rock and Austin. It's from this Mania. But your thoughts about this Jericho and William Regal match, because you're a Regal guy, you're a Jericho guy, so I gotta hear opinions on that.
Yeah, I was shocked that William Regal, and as we've been seeing him more here, we saw him in some of these WCW watches, and it's carried over more so to his WWE run after those runs in WCW. That's how good of a character this William Regal was. Just that whole blue blood vibe in the ring. Never appreciated him as much as a kid, as far as what he was doing, just because it looked boring. Like it is not like appeasing to the eye of a youngster that's just watching for action and stuff like that, and crazy stuff he can talk to his friends about. William Regal ain't coming up in a discussion typically. So as an adult BA watching this, this was probably low-key one of my most underrated matches on the whole card. Watching it back, I'm not gonna lie to you, because you don't expect nothing when you cut this on and see that these dudes are wrestling for the Intercontinental Championship. So shout out to William Regal, man. He this is why he's like the king of graps in the back, as far as like booking, and why AEW got so mad that he went back to make sure his son was cool in NXT, basically. So
facts. William Regal is graps. If anybody didn't know that, William Regal is graps. You can tell by his son. He's a coach. Dude was balling in 2 or 3 promotions over 20 years. William Regal's the shit. He puts on a really, really good opener here. Puts over Jericho, kind of closes the whole feud. Solid for an opener. Not the best one that we've seen, but for a Mania, I'm a Jericho guy. I liked it. I think Jericho could have got a better spot on the card, but to open it up, Intercontinental Championship match, sub 8 minutes, we'll fucking take it.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. After that, we cut to the famous APA hideout, where they do nothing but smoke cigars, talk shit, beat people's ass, drink beer, and play poker, I think?
They play poker.
Yep. JBL's cutting an inspirational promo about this is WrestleMania, this is where legends are made, asses get beat, all types of shit. Basically an inspirational speech from a Texan.
Earl Campbell. Talked about Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell, yes, he did. And I think he's got, what is that, Jacqueline at the table?
Yes, Jackie.
Yeah.
Miss Jackie sitting at the table.
Jackie with a long-ass cigar. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I never saw that thing until just now.
That Stogie's wild.
That's a long boy. That's that joint R. Kelly had.
Yeah, for real, though.
Bradshaw proceeds to slap the cards off the table and get to fucking action.
Yep.
The next match that we have is honestly what you would think is a throwaway match on any other card, but WrestleMania 17 actually gets it done. Taz and the APA, although they're announced as the Alkalites for some reason. I don't know, but they're the APA at this point with Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Versus the Right to Censor. Now, the Right to Censor has always been something I would want to discuss with you.
Yeah.
Because these gimmicks were such vital parts of the Attitude Era, and they basically flipped all of them on their heads and made them some goody two-shoes, we're not about that raunchy shit.
Yeah.
Did this kill their careers? Did you like this? Did you like The Good Father versus The Godfather? Or Val Venus in a shirt and tie versus a cocked and loaded shirt? Like, what did you prefer?
By the way, that cocked and loaded shirt is insane that they sold that.
Ready to unload.
That font. Can't unsee it. Wow. But
yeah. I need to find one of those shirts. I'm gonna buy one.
I'm sure somebody's selling it on eBay. So sicko out there.
So vintage stock, maybe.
Right. Oh, maybe. I don't even know. I don't even know if the man that wore the gimmick would approve of that these days. The way he kind of talks around stuff. But
fuck him. We don't care about that.
Shout out to Sean Morley. I think that's his real name. But
I didn't even know that.
Hey,
fuck
man.
him.
The YouTube wrestling rabbit hole's a real thing. He's got a lot of shoot interviews out there talking his crazy rhetoric. But hey, with that being said, answer your question, killed their runs. Yeah, you could say that, because they don't really recover too much from this whole thing. The gimmick in I could see it being talked about in a room and people thinking that it would be funny and would get over because of what it represents in this era of wrestling. As we saw with all these guys pretty much involved, you could say Bull Buchanan was getting some weird stuff in that match too. They were all involved in those crazy gimmicks a year before this. Like, you had the Godfather having the craziest entrance to WrestleMania that Peacock had to cut it off of their most of it off of their
too many hoes.
feed. Yes, exactly, literally too many hoes. The song and what they had walking down the aisle. So you got that, and then you get to our point earlier, Val Venus wearing that cocked and loaded shirt as a special guest referee in a bra and panties match, and Jesus. Also wearing a referee striped towel during it.
Yes, he was.
Just dirty business, man. Dirty work. And then Bull Buchanan being involved in that match with the Godfather. Not necessarily as dirty of a gimmick, but Bull Buchanan being involved with the Big Boss Man and them dudes were doing questionable stuff. Probably if kayfabe, who knows? Yeah.
I don't know. This might be Bull Buchanan's best gimmick. Like his most famous one.
Really?
Because him in just tactical vest with the
Shield
Big Boss Man, yeah.
Right.
Like Shield Light, that shit sucked. Like, I'm sorry, that shit was ass, bro. This is arguably, maybe not even arguably, Bull Buchanan's best gimmick that they ever put on him.
Right.
But for the actual match, they're fighting Taz and the APA, Right to Censor, with Steven Richards. So Steven Richards technically isn't even involved in this match. 4 minutes, fast-paced. They try to get Taz some more looks. It's not really working in the WWF at this point, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But they got him on Mania. It's a spot filler, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
Honestly, the APA was the best part about this match for me.
Facts. And that Bradshaw lariat that he be throwing at folks, man, thing was ridiculous.
Taking folks' head clean the fuck off.
Right. And I still hate that the Good Father did a hoe train. Like, why? Like, you're the Good Father.
Didn't he
now.
call it something else though, like the Hope Train or something like that? I can't remember.
That sounds like right. I can't confirm it, but yeah, I was gonna say another thing about this Right to Censor gimmick. Growing up, it didn't really do much for me. Didn't really care much about it. Now as an adult, I could appreciate it a little more because they tried to do something outside of the box, and even though it failed miserably, it served a purpose on the mid card for when they had it around. And I'm sure that their gimmicks itself, at least the Godfather, I'm sure, and probably Val Venus was probably getting them in a lot of heat with the USA Network at those times. Because the envelope continued to get pushed even more so from like when they first popped up in like 98, 99. Like,
Is it that why they put him on UPN on SmackDown?
yes, yes, exactly why. People that were usually problematic got put on UPN, the network for the brothers and sisters, if you will.
As my dad said, underpaid Negro network.
Yes, facts.
Yep.
Facts, man. There has to be a podcast or a YouTube video out there talking about how the greatness that was on the UPN network. E-Ray, that should be an idea for a binge flicks and chill episode, mini-sode, something. We'll talk about it offline if you're listening. But yes, they were on UPN, and that's why SmackDown was The Rock's show, because The Rock used to talk crazy. The stuff he would be inferring about strudel and poontang pie.
DX was on SmackDown.
They were.
Yep. All the problematic people.
So
all the problematic people.
Makes sense. So with that said, we're talking entirely too much about a 3-minute match. With that said,
hey,
but shout out to it though, because it got
exactly
that type of content
lots of good content out of a 4-minute match right now.
Yes.
APA and Taz end up going over in, like you said, 4-minute match. Not really much to see here. Right to Censor gets their ass beat. Stevie Richards is freaking out on the outside.
He was the mouthpiece when I think about it. He didn't really wrestle at this point.
Which was so weird to keep Stevie Richards from wrestling, you would think. Like, it's Stevie fucking Richards. How do you
He might have been injured or had a concussion or something.
That tracks. That would track.
And they were just trying to keep him on TV, and he probably figured he could talk better than those three dudes, because those three dudes are just talking gimmicks. They don't really talk. So.
And the Godfather can't talk how he's used to talking, so yeah, Stevie Richards was definitely the mouthpiece for that one.
Made sense.
Following that match, we get a little cutaway to Vince's sex slave, Trish Stratus, and Linda McMahon, who's basically a vegetable inside of a wheelchair.
Best acting she's ever done in wrestling.
What she does not, that says something, because she's literally doing nothing. This is the gimmick of like the paranormal movie with the old lady in the rocking chair that never speaks or moves until the end of the movie, where you realize she's a major part of the plot. This is Linda McMahon. And she's approached by the $1 billion princess at the time, Stephanie McMahon. Great gimmick. Love the gimmick. She looked great at this time. She's got a fucking diamond belt on with hella jewels and all types of jewelry and
it's in the bedazzled daddy's girl that I want to talk about real quick. Questionable as far as
yeah.
Questionable.
Well, okay. Well, later. I know where you're going with that. I know where you're going, because she even talked about Vince pitching a gimmick. Or not a gimmick, a storyline, and it was really weird.
See?
So we're not even going to get into that, because that's going to ruin the whole fucking vibe of this. If we ever have a Vince McMahon episode, we'll get into it.
Yeah, he'd have to be getting go to jail for us to do that episode. So we might do it. You never know.
Oh, he's sharing his stocks in TKO, so technically he's not going to be a part of the...
They said he sold everything. I'm like, oh,
yeah, he's gone. He's going to be gone. Don't worry about it. But next...
Assets. That's wild. Sorry. This is business brain.
That's how... Yeah, exactly. You know a nigga fucked when he starts liquidating his assets.
Oh,
After this, we get the hardcore match that almost never was. We get Kane, Raven, and Big Show in all I can call a clusterfuck of a triple threat hardcore match. Now, mind you, Raven coming in as champion makes sense. Yeah. Hardcore championship makes sense.
All day.
Kane?
Question mark.
And Big Show?
The biggest question mark. And what a fall from grace of WrestleMania 2000.
This is like, why Big Show and Kane? I mean, it's not as bad as them making a second ECW and belting up the Big Show with it, but putting him in a hardcore match versus Raven and Kane makes no sense to me. This is just a glorified Falls Count Anywhere match, in my opinion. This wasn't really hardcore. There was a couple spots in this match that were cool. They go to the back and start beating the shit out of each other with foreign objects and driving around and fucking beating with mop sticks and all types of shit. Kane ends up, I don't even know what did he like throw them off the side of the stage for this win, or like
I couldn't even really like tell what that was.
It looks so weird because they prepped an area for it to happen. And they got like this plexiglass, so you can't really see. And then the ref counts the pin on the plexiglass.
So weird.
Which makes it so nasty. Yeah. And then they cut to a downward shot of a fucking crash pad. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
But WWF.
For real.
But yeah, there's wild spots in here, like you just saw, like passing it. He tied a fucking hose around Raven's neck and threw him through a fucking glass pane. Like,
yep.
And the reason I say this almost never was, which BA didn't know, there's an infamous spot in this match where they go driving on a golf cart and they're not supposed to crash, but they end up crashing. And they crashed less than a foot away from a main production cable that would have cut the entire broadcast to pay-per-view. So there wouldn't have been any live draw to this at all starting out, because this is like the third match. They would have fucked the entire production, which would have cost them a ton of money.
Them dudes would have got fired.
But I gotta know, Kane and Big Show in a hardcore match, how many vein slaps is this, dude? Because
this is a limpy one vein slapper to me. Because
shit, limpy one vein slap.
This is like my arms are tired. I just did an upper body workout and I got nothing left, Jack. Type of vein slap. Yeah, because this is to your point. What the fuck am I watching? Why is Kane and Big Show in this match? Big Show, you were just involved in the main event at WrestleMania last year. What the fuck happened?
A fall from grace.
What happened?
A fucking fall from grace is what I tell you.
Understand that part of this.
This is what happens with the Big Show. It's like they book him and they're like, oh shit, this guy's pretty good. And they put him in these big situations and then he gets the belt or he's in these situations and fucking fumbles it. Every single time. And they're like, oh shit, we got to get the belts off of him. And then 6 months to a year later, they're like, oh yeah, we got Big Show. Let's try it again. Fail. And it's just a constant thing where I think they did it, 3 times with the world title they put it on him?
Yep.
Can you remember any of his title reigns?
That without the help of a promo package, no, not really.
No,
nothing really sticks out. All I can remember is him getting punched in the face by Floyd Mayweather. Is my most like memorable moment from Big Show, is seeing him get punched in the face by Floyd.
And he didn't even have a belt. My most memorable moment from Big Show was a fucking sumo match at WrestleMania 21, which we'll get into later.
God, yeah, that did happen.
By the way, Akibono actually just passed away, who was in that match. So R.I.P. Akibono.
R.I.P. Akibono. That's crazy. Big Show's career, talk about Bret Hart breakdown. Big Show deserves a discussion too, because
he had a weird career.
From the giant,
very weird career.
It's because he was huge. And that's why he got put in those spots, because he's a big motherfucker, and people want to see a big motherfucker do stuff in wrestling.
I guess so, to whoever booked this, I didn't want to see Big Show in a hardcore match at all.
I don't think
there's nothing hardcore to me about Big Show, but him being able to throw people vigorously through windows and tables. That's it. That's literally it. Other than that, nothing hardcore about Big Show to me. And then they put the fucker on Kane. I don't even know who takes it off of him. I really don't care.
No, it's the equivalent of the 24/7 title.
This is literally 24/7 title. Yes, this is literally 24/7 title.
Yeah.
But I mean, for what it was, entertaining. I'll give it that. It wasn't that long. They only went for like 10 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, a little shy of 10.
A little shy of 10 minutes. I'll give it that. Entertaining match. Filler. Whatever. Literally whatever. It's a whatever match. But after this is kind of a weirder match in my opinion. This is for a belt that's actually, I think this was its last year existing, 2001 for the European title.
European title, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so this was the last year actually for the European title. But before that, we actually get a little cutaway. We get Edge and Christian acting like some dumbasses with Kurt Angle. They cut a little promo. I hate those glasses so much. They cut a little promo, really nothing. They move on to WWF New York, that majorly failed project that they had.
With Jimmy Snuka standing in the middle. That's wild.
He wasn't convicted yet. Give him a break. Jonathan Coachman with a hairline pops up, giving a interview to a random fan.
Hairline. Wow, it was early.
I mean, it's a little patchy, but it's there.
Hey, it's there.
Absolutely there.
Give it to him. Shout out to his barber.
Right?
Still doing his thing.
After that, they get a little cutaway to The Rock, bringing in his championship in a nice black suit, no undershirt or tie. Kind of a weird choice, but whatever.
You gotta go turtleneck. You gotta go turtleneck if you're gonna make that choice. But I digress.
That's what I'm saying. No button up, no tie, nothing. Like
That's
just a Under Armour and a blazer. That is insane.
Yeah, he ain't been to Hollywood yet. They ain't taught him nothing.
I forgot. Yeah, he's just been wrestling. Okay, my bad. Yeah, he's just been wrestling. Other than that, next we get, like I said, a pretty weird match. Eddie Guerrero with Perry Saturn.
I'm not even laughing at the obvious thing with Perry Saturn's hat.
What are you laughing at then? That hat is atrocious.
The fact that my guy is wearing a Lugs shirt. Shout out to Lugs. Lugs,
they were a sponsor.
Lugs were like, and that's probably why he's wearing the shirt, that's it. But Lugs, to anybody that grew up, were like, my parents won't buy me Timberlands, they gonna buy me Lugs. And you will get destroyed if you wore a pair of Lugs to school. Lugs were, if they ask you to pull that pants leg up to show is that tree? Do I see that tree? And they see that then just 4 bold letters of just Lugs. You getting destroyed. You might as well just not even ever come back to school. So when I saw Perry Saturn wear that Lugs shirt, I was like, yo, what the fuck? I forgot. But the WWE did always used to sponsor, or Lugs used to sponsor WWF a lot. I remember them commercials about them big ass boots.
Lugs and fucking Castrol motor oil. And
yes,
I remember those commercials all the fucking time.
Because men watch wrestling. Guys that chase your own oil.
Right? That's
it don't give a fuck about fashion.
But next we get like I said, really weird. Eddie Guerrero still with his mullet and his mullet phase, with Perry Saturn in a Lugs t-shirt and a Scotty 2 Hottie hat. Versus one of the most generic big men to ever grace a ring in the WWF, Test. No disrespect to Test, but sorry, he was bland, in my opinion. Very, very bland. Yeah. They go for 8 minutes, a little over 8 minutes for the WWF European Championship, a universally dead title at this point.
I hope they bring. You know what? Let's talk about that, because this is a great opportunity for that belt to come back to a certain degree because of the NXT project happening overseas. It may not happen on the main roster, But why not bring half of the European title like pop up? Like instead they turn that cup, that damn Heritage Cup.
Cruiserweight. Oh, the Heritage Cup.
No, they turn the Heritage Cup into the European Championship.
One, just Grayson O.M. Dar with it?
Yeah, whoever has it. No, they have. Speaking of really real, Charlie Dempsey has it right now. So.
Oh, okay.
That would be fire.
I can give it that. I can give you that. That'd be nice. I would personally like to see the cruiserweight belt come back, an actual cruiserweight belt.
They
come
got
back
a
before
lot of
European belt, but
yeah,
that's just me.
They got a lot to come back from with that whole cruiserweight thing they did. They did that so wrong with the whole 205 Live, because
it was bad how they presented it, but the actual wrestling within it was really good.
And that's the problem. Yes, I was like, when I would go see SmackDown back in that time frame, like get to watch that 205 Live an hour after that. That was like for people that love wrestling. And at the time, I was getting back into it. I'm like, this is when the roster sucked. And I remember a specific time going to see SmackDown. This is Jinder Mahal was champ. Yeah, it was that phase.
That's
See, it was dirty work happening in the Shield, so to speak. So to get to watch that 205 Live and to see Leo Rush and those dudes who I didn't know a lot about, it was like watching NXT. So I was cool with it. I didn't mind it, but to the point of, like I said, they did that so wrong is because they treated it like an afterthought. Like, oh, here's some wrestling while y'all kind of, if you don't want to go sit and wait for parking to clear out, you can watch this wrestling for the next hour. Like, that's fucked up. Because it was legit, like you said, it was a great product. But it came on like it was, but this is a fault of them. This is more Vince. I don't like it was an afterthought after NXT. So it's
unfortunately, I think it became a bigger thing than they thought it was going to be, and there was a better product than they thought it was going to be, because Vince didn't believe in cruiserweights since what, 98?
Right.
Like that's when he stopped really giving a fuck about cruiserweights, like 98 to 2000, 2001 maybe.
Yeah.
After that,
when they got rid of the light heavyweight title, I would see
exactly.
that. I would be open to that coming back.
A light heavyweight, that would make sense.
That title, and that title was dope. It was a red belt. It looked dope as hell. We probably talked about it on a couple of shows in the past. Because Taka Michinoku held it.
I think we did talk about it on one of the shows in the past, if I'm not mistaken. I know I've talked about it pretty recently. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that light heavyweight belt was the shit. I wouldn't be mad about that coming back.
Yeah.
But we've completely deviated away from the graps here.
Yes.
This is Eddie Guerrero versus Test, but again, this is bland Test, so I'm not surprised we need to talk about something else.
Nah, we can kind of move on from this, because Eddie Guerrero takes the belt off of him, as a matter of fact.
Eddie Guerrero does take the belt off of him in an 8-minute match, a little over 8 minutes. Not really much to see here. Test, I don't really enjoy his style. In my opinion, he's better in a group than as a singles wrestler.
Yeah,
but
hide him.
I ain't booking it, so who am I to say anything?
I ain't booking it. That
exactly.
needs to be on a t-shirt.
I ain't booking the shit, so who am I to fucking say? Test delivers big boot. Dean Malenko and the Radicals, start fucking people up. Eddie Guerrero belt shot. Boom, 1, 2, 3. That's the end of the match. Perry Saturn, Dean Malenko, and Eddie Guerrero walk into the sunlight with their new gold.
Yep, because I want to talk about something that we haven't talked about yet, but it's going to come up. This is right around the time frame of WCW closing their doors, ECW closing their doors. So much so, the ECW thing, that a lot of the guys did not expect to see Paul Heyman doing commentary for WrestleMania 17, because he literally just closed the doors at ECW like the week before this, and then he just popped up on Raw after that. A lot of them dudes, the old guard of ECW, did not like that, because he still owed a lot of people a lot of money, and yeah, that all that is happening around this pay-per-view. I do remember that.
Which causes at this point, deranged, broken, and rock bottom Tommy Dreamer to contemplate jumping the barricade and flashing the revolver on Paul Heyman and doing things that he said he had the full intent to do until I looked it up. Jim Ross gave him a call and said, give it time. They have a plan. We got you. And so we called it off. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff with ECW embedded in this pay-per-view behind the scenes. They don't put any of it on the forefront because they don't own them yet. It was fresh.
Super fresh.
They're not super fresh. I mean, literally, the bullet wound was a week before, so to speak. Not Tommy Dreamer, but literally, the wound was so fresh from a week before. They couldn't put any of this shit out there. But there was a lot going on in the background.
And I have to ask you before we move off of that, because we've talked about this in the past. I don't know if on this show or more just in talking on the phone. Jerry the King Lawler not being present for this pay-per-view. If Paul Heyman being present, did it add to the commentary? Did it take away from it?
It added to it, absolutely. I do not think a lot of moments would have been bearable with King on commentary. Paul Heyman is, in my opinion, he says he doesn't like commentary that much. He didn't do it that much. I would take Paul Heyman on commentary any day before Lawler. In his prime, before his prime, after his prime, no matter what. I'd take Paul E on commentary any fucking day.
That's saying a lot. Had to get that out before we moved on to our next match here on the card.
No, you're good. You're good. Before the next match on the card, we get a couple different segments just for the transitioning of the matches. We get a very, very, very young Michael Cole, backstage interviewer right now. I don't think, has he taken the helms of SmackDown at this point?
I think they're still doing double time with I think Paul Heyman and JR do SmackDown. And Raw,
I didn't know.
I want to say they weren't doing the split up teams yet. Cole still Cole is always just doing backstage stuff, getting his just shit rocked by like The Rock and other guys and stuff like that. 'Cause some of the most famous promos are always of The Rock with him shitting on Michael Cole. Typically,
I feel that. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That he was just a backstage guy.
Cole's very close to taking the helms of commentary here soon.
Yes.
Because I think his first WrestleMania was 18, yeah?
I want to say you're correct on that.
Yes, his first WrestleMania he commentates is 18. But we get Mick Foley cutting a promo. He's basically talking about how he's a special guest referee for the McMahons. He's going to call it right down the middle. You can even see him do the hand gesture. Pretty funny. Short and sweet, to the point. Mick Foley was never really there it is, right down the middle. Mick Foley was never really that big of a promo guy, in my opinion. Really charismatic, could talk, but
different characters were more promos. Like Cactus Jack was a promo. Exactly.
Then it cuts to, you get Austin in a nice 316 shirt and a camo hat, coming in, dropping his bag, looking stressed.
Yep.
He's just thinking about the treacheries that he's going to commit and the deal that he's made. It's bad. After this, we get the intros to our next match. We get Kurt Angle, best rookie in WWF, versus Chris Benoit in a 15-minute singles match. Now, this isn't any stipulation. There is no belt. Nothing like that.
Yep.
This is just two men that think they're the best technical wrestlers. That's the story behind this.
And they tell a great story with that, too.
Exactly.
Fire-ass story. One that
Kurt
I
Angle
forgot about.
Yeah, it's great. Kurt Angle comes out, cuts a little promo before the match on the entrance ramp. Just talking his shit, basically. Benoit looks like an absolute madman in this match. Like, just the look in his eyes, like, y'all aren't gonna see it right here, but just look at that shot there.
He looks like he wants to cry. He looks so angry.
He looks like how Mike Tyson said he cries and he's sad before every fight, thinking about what he's gonna do to the opponent. That's what Chris Benoit looks like right here. He looks like he's legitimately mourning what he's about to do to his opponent. Crazy shit. But if you know Benoit, in the early 2000s, and of course, Kurt Angle, graptastic. This is full of technicalities. You're going to get submissions, you're going to get German suplexes, you're going to get chokeholds, armbar galores, 50 different types of them, ankle locks, cross faces, all types of shit. So if that's your shit, you like technical wrestling, this is the match. They go for almost 15 minutes. I don't know, do you enjoy these style of matches getting put directly in the middle of a Mania card? Because if I'm not mistaken, this is like the dead center of the card. Out of 11 matches, this is like number 6 or 5 or something like that.
Yeah, it didn't even really dawn on me. I'm a Kurt Angle mark, so I was here for it regardless. But as far as this type of like grab style being in the middle of a card, if it's not really littered throughout the card period, then yeah, I have a more of appreciation for it, and it's not really littered out throughout this card. You get the opener, I feel like is more of a technical wrestling situation than this, and then you don't really get another technical wrestling situation on this card again, because everything else is very heavy in the sports entertainment and big spots, not really about some sort of like mat wrestling fiasco here. You got these two lunatics trying to kill each other with submissions and suplexes. So yeah,
Actual factuals. Can't disregard or disagree with anything that you said there. Like you said, of course, with the submissions and shit, you get the takedowns, the holds, the long spots. So it is a little bit heavier in the transitions at times.
Yeah.
But they play it off really well. That, like you said, they're fucking lunatics when they wrestle, so they look believable.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not two, mid-card wrestlers going out there trying to do fucking shoot-style wrestling and looking like shit. I love the placement of the match. I love the wrestling of the match. The time honestly went a little more than what I would expect, but it is dead center of the card, so you kind of have to get that wave.
Mm-hmm.
If you know wrestling booking, you can't go down all the way and then go up. Gotta have an extra wave in the middle and bring them back down.
Yeah, to that point though, like if you like, and this is where, do you like mat wrestling or not? Like, will you go and, like, if you wrestled in the past, like did amateur wrestling or watch that stuff? This is what this speaks to, like the story that Kurt Angle's telling in his facial expressions. Just like, damn it, I'm trying to take this motherfucker down. This is one of my like moves. I can't get him down, and I'm tired. And he ain't really gassed. Like you can see the concern of that kind of stuff. And if you understand that type of energy that takes, if you are used to that or you know what that wrestling is, you don't really think about the time length of this match, because it's longer because of all the back and forth and all the storytelling in the ring as far as this match. So it's, to me, if it wasn't heavy in that stuff, like if it was just like we about to just have a wrestling match, y'all, like I wouldn't care as much. But I care about Kurt Angle. I care about Chris Benoit to a certain degree as far as graps and keeping it to only graps. It's just far as I grew up watching them. I'm sorry, I can't help it. They tell a great story, and they have other matches too throughout their careers. I want to even say they have an Iron Man match at some point in time.
That sounds crazy.
I want to say, and I hope I'm not wrong on this, but I want to say like on a random SmackDown they had an Iron Man match, like something of that nature. I would
not be surprised. Kurt Angle is keen to doing those type of matches on free TV.
Yeah,
because I actually in 2005 attended a Raw. Him and Shawn Michaels did, I think it was like an Iron Man match, or is either that or a fucking like 2 or 3 fall submit. It was like a 30-45 minute match on free TV.
Yep. Insane.
So he's very keen on doing this. But Kurt Angle gets the dub over Chris Benoit. What else does it say? Like I said, graptastic.
Yes.
After this, the graptacular, sensational. After this, we get obligatory squash match, in my opinion, because it seems like every big event had this kind of match back then. We get the champion of Right to Censor, Ivory, facing the I won't say the best women's wrestler to grace WWEF, but she sure as hell looked like it. China, at this point, who they've kind of let go, in my opinion. We were talking about this not too long ago. This China versus like the DX China in DX's prime. You know, China was more of the muscle, just being there. You can't call her eye candy, really. She was kind of just the side piece of the group, essentially.
Yeah.
What's the contrast of this China and the old China, and which one do you like more?
This China versus the old China. Dude.
Because this China does more wrestling, a little more smiley, more personality. The old China was, like you said, you know, leather, gloves, muscle.
Yeah.
You know, beat niggas' asses, shit
She's
like
a bodyguard. Now this China's a character now. Like, as far as like they're trying to make her marketable to the public, but the Playboy stuff is kind of like did that in itself. So she's riding the Playboy wave, basically. I feel like, as a lot of these women did at this period of time, they would get the Playboy spread, and then from there, they would then kind of be booked as like these big baby faces because of being in Playboy, essentially. I think that's just what happened here. I'd say also, to the question you asked about right to censor, I think this is also to China's detriment, because of more so the person playing the character itself couldn't handle all of that success. And then also the stuff happening backstage with her and Trips, it was all happening at this time too. So
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, that was kind of like, because he was this is 2002, so it's kind of all fresh. Like, they just broke up type shit.
I think this is 01, yeah?
Oh, this is 01? Okay, then if this is yeah, it would have to be, because WrestleMania 2000, BA. This is, they're starting to do stuff in the back, like sneak around type shit, to the point of how that all played out. So yeah,
yikes.
It's like, so it's a bunch of stuff happening in her life and in her career, and I don't think she was built, and this is no fault to her, and I don't mean no disrespect, but I don't think she was built to handle it all of what was happening. Like, this is so not China. Like, she like do the little jog out, like, oh, I'm about to kill this bitch type stuff. I'm just like, yeah, but back in the day, you used to just walk out and not even have a facial expression and ragdoll people to death. And
yeah, now
try
she
to
got
fight
a
dudes.
firework cannon and
the
fucking
original
sparkly gear and all this shit. Yeah,
the OG gun, before The Rock started shooting flamethrowers at people and signs to set his name on fire. China was doing that gimmick with fireworks. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I understand why it was necessary for her to start to be booked this way, but I think it killed her character, because they had a bunch of this sounds so sexist, but it had a bunch of girly girls on the roster already. Like, China, what made China cool and what made her unique was that she wasn't like those types of women that they had on the roster. Like, but she was cool for other reasons. So I think it took away what made her unique. I just went on a huge rant about China.
Hey, I mean, that's what we need, man. The content drives the conversation, and she has a lot to talk about, because she had a very, like you said, controversial, although short, very controversial career within the WWFE realm. Still talked about to this day, still gets compared. Anytime you get a powerhouse woman on the roster, that isn't, you know, big per se, someone like a Rhea Ripley, automatically gets compared to a China off the rip. But as far as the match, a couple minutes, squash match. Ivory opens up with a title belt shot to the back, gets her shit off, and then China proceeds to absolutely send her to the Shadow Realm. Not really much to see here. Not that it was bad, but it's a squash match.
Yeah.
There's not really much to see in a squash match. She gives her a couple big boots, couple moves, Irish whips, big body drop, gets her up for the power bomb. 1, 2, 3. She's the new champion.
Yep. And I didn't know that this was her first time ever winning the women's championship. They mentioned that on commentary.
I didn't hear that part.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably heard it, just didn't register to me. But that would make sense because, I mean, 2 years ago she was muscle, yeah? So
yeah, exactly. She was never really, and they didn't really have a women's division too. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much that was happening to like kind of pigeonhole her career. Like, there wasn't a women's division when she started wrestling, or starting being in wrestling, involved in wrestling. So you have like this version of her winning this championship that's not really what got her to the dance, so to speak. And then the enhancements get her noticed for other things. So it's again a whole discussion. To your point, one more than I didn't really think about when I was taking this in. I just was just like, oh damn, trying to just squash the shit out of Ivory. That was kind of pointless. But I was like, nah, it wasn't pointless because this is the Playboy era. They had to get her on TV for that reason, which is why it was just a 2-minute squash match, I think, on Furthermore. Because Ivory can go.
Ivory can go, very surprisingly. But again, the right to censor gimmick. What did it do to these people's careers? Because before this, and even after this, not much of Ivory, but she could fucking go. The right to censor was somewhat the highlight for these people's careers, but also the downfall because they didn't do shit after this. But yeah, China wins. Not much to see there. They move on to a McMahon family therapy, I guess you can call it, with Vince's side piece. I mean, is this really a side piece? He does this shit in front of Linda.
He asked for it. The reason why, let's explain why Linda is a vegetable right now. She is in a vegetative status because of the fact that Vince told her that he wanted a divorce. That's where this all starts. I want a divorce. Like, and then from there, he starts like making out with Trish in just disgusting fashion and doing other just things and such. So yeah, from there, that's how Linda becomes a vegetable. And then Vince is bringing Trish around to take care of her, to take care of Linda. Dirty work. Because Linda won't sign papers, I'm guessing. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is where life bleeds into booking, I feel like. Because, yeah, man.
I guess you could say that. I don't think they've had a very strong marriage.
No.
Ever. They've been kind of business partners, in my opinion, at this point.
To the point of
because isn't Linda
papers.
political?
Yeah, she was in Trump's cabinet.
Yes,
she
okay,
did something.
That's what I thought.
In his regime, but what I can say is that to the point of her not wanting to sign papers, that's why I was like, seems a little too real for me. Because I think they said this is how they really was moving. So, yeah. So Vince doing all the nasty Vince work in front of his estranged wife is why she's a vegetable at this point coming into this match.
Yeah, that good foresight and backstory. But this nasty work, because
So
he was
bad.
basically treating Trish like I said earlier, a sex slave. They don't want to call her that, and they can't fuck on TV 14 TV.
I would if I could, damn it.
Shout out to Edge. But right, exactly. But that's essentially what Trish Stratus was. He had her essentially by a leash. The bitch was undressing in the middle of the ring, bathing him.
The bark like a dog promo.
Barking
infamous.
like a dog and crawling like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All types of nasty shit. But this also projected Trish into the stratosphere, if you like that, of getting over as a women's wrestler in spectacular fashion. But she has no match on this card, so I ain't talking about her. They go into a video package because up next we get one of the weirdest, craziest, but entertaining matches on this card. Shane McMahon versus Vince McMahon. Yes, Shane and Vince have a match. Shane is coming to the ring, and he is called the WCW chairman.
Yes.
Because kayfabe, Shane has bought WCW. Terrible angle, in my opinion. I don't see why they did that, but they're trying to set up for the Mania match.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Did you watch this and like retain what happens in this match? Because a lot happens in this match. For two people that are not wrestlers.
Yeah.
You got to admit, am I crazy here for saying this is an entertaining match?
No, this is very entertaining. This is Shane O'Mac's first match. This is his first WrestleMania match. This is all entertaining. This is the epitome of sports entertainment here, buddy.
This is sports entertainment. I was just about to say that.
Yes.
This is literally sports entertainment to the T.
Yes.
If anybody asks you what's the difference between wrestling and sports entertainment,
put this shit on.
Show them anything from like TNA in 2006 and then put this shit on.
Yep.
It'll be a very clear indicator of wrestling versus sports entertainment.
Biggest effects.
Yeah, there's wild spots in this match. Vince takes hella bumps, but Vince always said he will never ask another wrestler to do what he will not do. So Vince went out there and took some fucking bumps.
Boy, did he.
This match is refereed by Mick Foley.
Yes, yeah. As he said, he's calling it right down the middle.
Right down the middle. Does he call it right down the middle? I'll let y'all be the judge of that one. We're not gonna watch this match because I have no interest in seeing two McMahons fight. Right now, I've seen it in not in 2024. Daddy's girl on the back. Off the shit pops me.
Dirty work.
Dirty ass work. Shane basically beats the shit out of Vince for the better part of half the match, damn near.
And a typical Vince match. Vince never gets offense off in his matches. Ever.
Oh, never. He always wins in
beating.
He always wins in some weird ass way.
Yeah.
Like it. Yeah, and so this is also the match. I have it up on the screen now. This is the moment that was put in a ton of wrestling video games from then on out. Shane McMahon jumping from the top rope all the way to the announcer's table with that elbow.
That and the garbage can spot where he jumps across
and the garbage
ring,
can,
the drop
yes,
kick. That was
the
the
coast to coast,
spot.
the coast to coast garbage can too.
Yeah,
Shane McMahon was responsible for both those spots. So anytime you see that in a wrestling video game, thank Shane McMahon.
Yeah, yeah.
Because those spots were fucking crazy coming from a dude that's never wrestled before.
Yep.
At all. Just straight up, whatever athleticism he had, he put all of it into there.
And then later this year, he has that crazy ass match with Kurt Angle at King of the Ring, where he gets thrown through the glass. So
yep. Yeah, he gets suplexed through the wrong glass, and then all that. Yep, I remember that.
Yeah.
Right after that spot, Shane, obviously Vince moves. He ain't taking that bump. They wheel Linda down to the ring, Trish Stratus in her Shawn Michaels hat, because I guess Vince wants her to see what he's gonna do to her boy. And this ensues with sports entertainment chaos, because then you get Stephanie coming around, and this is also where Trish turns on Vince.
Yes.
Because boom, you get the slap, Vince goes down, Stephanie comes over, tries to defend him, Trish Stratus beats the shit out of Stephanie. This is great shit for sports entertainment.
Yep.
You get a small segment of Trish beating the shit out of Stephanie some more. Back and fight cat fights. Stephanie slaps Mick. Mick goes after her, but he stops. Trish Stratus beats the shit out of her. It's great shit. Then what really the highlight of this for me was he literally picks up Linda like a fucking puppet out of her chair and just sets her in the ring and then rolls her in
damn it.
like a fucking bag of trash.
What is this shit?
It's so fucked up. And then she just sprawls out. It's so fucked up. Just rolls her in like trash, puts a chair in there and sets her down. what happens is what you can think happens at the end of the match. Linda stands up, which gets a huge pop. I mean, this was Road Warrior pop levels. Like, that shit was loud.
Yeah.
People got out of their chairs when Linda McMahon stood up and kicked Vince right in his grapefruits.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
like he likes to call them. After that, I guess it was just like a fuck Vince McMahon party pause. Because everybody just started beating his ass. Even Mick Foley.
Yep.
Gives him some signature offense. Shane McMahon is going to deliver the patented coast to coast with the trash can. And I think that's it.
Yep.
He counts to 1, 2, 3 after that. Shane McMahon wins.
Yep.
Linda's hugging him. It's a Kodak moment. You know, the baby faces went over. Great shit.
Crazy events. Crazy dad.
Right? Saved his mom, basically.
Yeah.
Linda McMahon can walk again. Shane gets his revenge. Trish Stratus dumps Vince. Everyone leaves nice and happy. Yep. After that, we cut to Kevin Kelly giving some backstage, or not backstage, this was at a live signing with the Hardys. And that, what did they call it? WWF Access, I think they called it back in the day.
Yeah, where they just getting autographs for people and stuff like
exactly. Exactly. They cut away to The Game getting ready for his fight in his WrestleMania X7 baseball jersey.
The shovel.
The golden shovel indeed.
Yes.
And then we cut to Undertaker giving his best impression of shadow boxing in the back. Quite literally shadow boxing, because they had his shadow against the wall. So a couple cuts. And now we go to what I can say is one of the most influential tag team matches to ever happen. Period. This is TLC. Is this 1 or 2?
This is 2. They even advertised it in the promo package here. Just when they're showing like the banner of the wrestlers who's wrestling, they said TLC 2. So
okay, so yes, this is TLC 2. You get a nice cut of the production team putting up all of the tables, the ladders, the chairs. Oh my. And then a nice cut to the belts hanging above the ring. With the nice, I always loved that little spinning logo they put and shit with the belts and all that. It was really cool.
Oh yeah.
But this is TLC 2. You get Edge and Christian, the Dudleys, and the Hardys. Classic fucking matchups for the late 90s and 2000s.
Oh yeah.
This is a 15-minute match of absolute spectacular wrestling, spectacular spots. Having Devon in this match when he's afraid of heights is insane. We're not going to watch along to this one, although it would be cool. We got to reserve our time for the main event.
Yeah.
So just talking along through it, Team Extreme comes down first in their Hot Topic mesh, what they always used to wear. I don't even know what to call it anymore. Next, you get Edge and Christian in the glasses, and Christian has the most egregious glasses on, and I fucking hate them. Then next, you get the GOATs of tag team wrestling in the WWF, the Dudleys.
Sir.
Like them or hate them, disagree with me, go argue with a wall. These motherfuckers were the shit. No one can tell me the 3D is the best tag team finisher in existence. The gimmick was money. The wrestling was money. The songs were money. It's not this Mania, it's the next Mania. The live entrance that they did with Stacy Keibler shaking her ass everywhere.
Oh.
It was a money entrance. I love it. Can't get better
about
than
that one.
Yeah. Yeah, they sexualized the shit out of Stacy Keibler in that match.
That shocked me.
I mean, that was her gimmick for the longest. She barely wrestled.
Yep. Pretty much.
But other than that, if you've seen wrestling and you've seen WWE product, you've seen this match. You had to have.
So much so, if you listen to the last week's episode, this is the only match we watched along to. minus the ladders and chairs, or minus the tables and chairs, or chairs, I guess.
Yeah, it was I forget, the triangle ladder match. Is that what they called it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So the triangle ladder match is what they called it. We're not going to watch this one, but this one, in all honesty, is much better.
It's the best one of them all, in my opinion. Out of all their matches.
Everything was fluent. Everybody was on the same page. The spots were abundant and looking absolutely devastating.
Insane.
One of my favorite spots from this match was Jeff Hardy taking a spear while hanging on to the fucking belts.
Crazy.
It just looked like Jeff's cracked his spine.
And shout out to Bubba Ray for keeping him safe on that, by the way.
Oh, very safe.
I was watching that, I'm like, oh wow. Without Bubba Ray there, that could have been anything.
Devastating. That could have been very devastating. A lot of the spots look like that in this match. Even the one we just saw, not y'all, but us, with Spike Dudley doing a Dudley dog to Christian through a table on the outside.
Yeah.
Spike Dudley was a spot monster back in the day.
Yeah, he was.
You get interference from Rhino. You get a gore through a table. All types of shit. Then Lita comes out and tries to help with the fucking 2000s dong showing out the top.
Oh, yeah.
I hated that look. Terrible.
It was extra.
Yeah. Oh, very extra. She's going to the top rope for some reason. I never knew why. Oh, yeah. She does that Hurricanrana shit. Yeah. So we get more of the tag team wrestling. I think the Dudleys tried to 3D Lita in a bra for some reason, and they do.
Oh, they were just shouting out her old school gimmick in ECW. She was Miss Congeniality at ECW.
I didn't know Lita was in ECW.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Yep. She was there for a little bit. Her name was Miss Congeniality.
That is news to me. I gotta watch a Lita ECW match. Okay.
No, she wasn't wrestling, but she was taking spots like that. Like, she was there to take spots.
Shit, a lot of the women took spots in ECW.
Pretty much.
I saw bitches taking gores and Sandman Kane hits and all types of shit. The second most favorite spot in this match was Jeff jumping and doing a swanton from like a 15-foot ladder. That shit was tall as fuck.
His sacrifice.
Shout out to Dub with the Creed references. That was truly his sacrifice.
Yep.
And then we get a lot more chaos. Jeff tries this weird ladder step thing that fails miserably. I don't know what he was supposed to do.
And weird, dangerous.
That was like the one weird spot of the match, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Then we get my spot that I love. You get the Edge spearing the absolute shit out of Jeff Hardy in midair. Boom. It looked like that would have broke his spine.
Yeah.
After that, they show like 4 or 5 cuts of it. This was the third, because they take the spill to the outside on the double stacked table. Yes, it was the double stacked tables.
Yep.
Bubba and Matt fall off of a 10+ foot ladder onto 4 tables on the outside from the inside of the ring. Shitloads of spots. Like I said, wish we could watch it, but gotta reserve time.
Yeah.
Edge and Christian end up winning once again. I think they won both of the TLCs, yes?
I want to say so. That sounds about right. Yes, they won last year's, the one at the triangle ladder match.
The triangle. Won. I think they won like all TLC matches that have ever happened.
That's interesting.
They're just that good of a tag team. Edge and Christians are one of the goats of tag team wrestling in the early 2000s WWF. Then we get cutaways after the match. Edge and Christian get the belts. More WWF access. Fans, Chris Benoit, Mick Foley doing signings, all types of shit. It was cool back in the day. I never got to go because I was too young and my dad didn't have the money for that shit. But
I ain't never been to nothing like that as a kid.
I've never been to nothing like that as a kid. That would have been the shit. And then we get, I think the Fink announces the official attendance.
Yep, I think
we're at 67. Yeah, we're at 67,925 Astro Dome attendance record, brother.
Crazy.
That is a lot of people compared to last year's. Almost a 60% plus hike.
Yeah.
Really crazy. When you think about it in retrospect, 365 days did that much of a difference.
Right. I think this is our gimmick battle royal coming up here.
Yes, it is. We have, who are they putting?
Legends.
This is commentary.
You might as well, yeah. These are the legends coming down for commentary. Gene Okerlund and Bobby the Brain.
Bobby the Brain. Yep. All right. So this is going to be our watch along match because this match is fucking ridiculous. If you can call it a match. If you don't already know what we're talking about, one of the infamous bullshit matches of WrestleMania 17 that happened to not stink the joint up was the infamous Gimmick Battle Royal. Now, what do you mean by Gimmick Battle Royal? This is all the people that had outlandish, trash, bigger than life gimmicks. They essentially are named, this is essentially the bad Gimmick Battle Royal. They just don't want to call it that. So they called it the Gimmick Battle Royal. Right. You get Bobby the Brain on commentary. Some of the people in this match, I think, are, what was it, Earthquake, Gobbledygooker, the Repo Man, like all types of shit. So you get Mean Gene Okerlund coming down. Again, this is the watch along. We're going to start this at 2 hours, 17 minutes, 21 seconds.
Let's do
and
it.
If you didn't get that, 2 hours, 17 minutes, 21 seconds. 3, 2, 1, play.
Dude.
I'm going to turn it up a little bit just for our sake. And you get Mean Gene Okerlund.
Down.
Right? Okerlund!
This music sucks. They got him walking down too, by the way.
Most of these niggas' music sucks.
Yeah. Mean Gene never did commentary, by the way, back in the day. He was a backstage guy.
He did on movies.
Yeah, fair. Shout out to No Holds Barred.
He did on fucking movies. Really weird. I wonder what they cut there. You see that awkward cut they just did?
Yeah, that was a little clunky.
Oh man, I can't remember what they put there as a kid. I need to see
Bobby
that.
Bobby the Brain Heenan during this match was heated up with all sorts of one-liners. Every word that came out of his mouth was some sort of backhanded joke. But you don't get Bobby Heenan anymore, so I'm not mad at it. At first I was just like, damn, Bobby Heenan, does everything you say is gonna be a joke? But I'm not mad at it because it wasn't like I was getting that anywhere else at this period of time. These guys just all freshly fired from WCW. Just showing up to get another check. They still got their papers
in their back pocket, buddy.
Oh, exactly, literally.
Oh, Jesus.
The Bushwhackers coming out.
Bushwhackers.
Now, how familiar are you? I'm going to ask you, all these guys, how familiar are you with them? Probably quite a bit because your dad probably educated you on these guys as they were coming out during these kids' watch, right?
I never saw them beforehand, and after seeing this, I never cared about them afterwards. They look like... I don't even know what to call them. Like, just white trash hillbillies that...
Yeah, Australian white trash hillbillies.
I was seeing shit like this. Duke the Dumpster Drozy.
Yeah.
What kind of gimmick is that?
I
forgot he was in this match.
Alley. Where the fuck is Dumpster Alley at?
They deemed him from Dumpster Alley?
Yes.
Drozy. Duke the Dumpster Drozy. This is... Yeah. I forgot he was in this match.
Terrible.
Who we get next?
I think this is
Sheik baby. Sheiky baby. All right, I'm cool with that one. I fucked with the Iron Sheik even before he died, so hey, it's whatever. But yeah. R.I.P. Sheiky.
Iron Sheik's music was fire though.
I love Iron Sheik's music. If he didn't move like a fucking unoiled machine right here, it might be a little better. That nigga's knees look out of there, bro.
Man, these guys didn't really take care of themselves like they do these days, is all I would say.
Boy, all the drugs probably kicking they ass that they did back in the day.
Oh, shout out to
Earthquake.
Recent Dark Side of the Ring episode on Earthquake was an interesting
I need to watch that.
It's a good watch. Check it out. It's not like your typical Dark Side of the Ring affair with some crazy tragedy attached to it, or some crazy life he lived, but I have much more of an appreciation for Mr. John Tenta, a.k.a. Earthquake, a.k.a. the Shockmaster.
Who the fuck is it? The Goon. Oh, God.
Yeah, this is Vince. This is all of Vince and Bruce Pritchard's creations come to life. That's what this whole match is. Like, all of them. The dumpster guy, him.
The Goon is a terrible gimmick. Just a hockey guy.
Doink. Oh, that's one of their proudest achievements. Doink the Clown.
Oh, Doink was actually entertaining, though.
They love Doink.
Oh God, they love Doink the Clown. The Gobbledygooker and Doink, they love them niggas, bro. Who's playing Doink the Clown in this one? I know it's not the original guy.
No, I forget. Probably, I think like Eugene or somebody. I don't know, fucking know.
If they put this nigga in a Doink the Clown outfit and then gave him an autism gimmick, that would be so fun. Kamala.
Oh, Kamala.
Oh man, Kamala.
Ugh.
Actually, the first man to body slam Andre the Giant.
That track did the lights cut off right after? Because that's how they did every black achievement in the 80s. Anything that happened, oh, there has to be some sort of funny business happen. Let's cut the lights out.
It was a dark match.
Of course it was.
It was a dark match, and Hogan took the claim because he did it first on TV. The Repo Man. Buy from them, buy here, pay here places, and that nigga gonna come see you.
Yep, that's Repo Man.
Repo, his music is so
they had
trash.
The music, Repo Man. Oh,
Jim,
Jim Cornette.
Old Jim, I dropped the hard R cornet. Look at him coming down the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, he got some spruce in that step.
He about. And then we get from there, from Jim Cornette, Nikolai Volkov, yes. They used him a lot in the anti-American shits back in the day. Those guys always kept their phones ringing. Like, anybody that was anti-America, they always had, they were on the short list of heels.
A Russian in the 80s, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They were always on the short list.
Oh,
man.
fucking Michael Hayes.
Uncle John's guy.
I forgot about this.
Uncle John. Shout out to Uncle John. Loved him some Michael P.S. Hayes.
Look at what he's dressed in. Just jeans and a t-shirt. Like, what the fuck?
It's all about Bad Street, USA. That terrible place that nobody knows where it exists at. I think Atlanta, but I digress.
Atlanta, Bad Street, USA, Atlanta. Atlanta, Georgia. That is hilarious.
One-man gang.
One-man gang. Oh, God.
Not coming out to his gimmick of the good old Hakeem the Dream, but the one-man gang instead. Man, this is the gimmick battle royal indeed. There are some gimmicks in this ring.
Gobbledygooker, there you go.
I wonder who played the Gobbledygooker right now.
I know the original was what, Chavo's dad or something like that?
I think so. This is just...
You would have to pay me a lot to get in there. Jesus Christ. Oh, and they cut to the Survivor Series.
From Survivor Series.
The fact that Taker and the Gobbledygooker debuted in the same night is a wild thought.
Yeah. So many thoughts.
That's oh God, that gimmick was terrible. Oh, and Mean Gene was there as well. That makes it so much better. Nice. Oh, who was this? Tugboat. Yes, Tugboat.
Now comes down the aisle. The Tugger. Pause.
Oh, shit. That little hat, that is so hilarious.
These gimmicks are wild.
These gimmicks are trash. These gimmicks are truly trash. If I had to watch this could you imagine a whole promotion with just this? And then Hillbilly Jim, I heard the fucking ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Yeah, Hillbilly
Jim look like he
Jim.
can still go though. He looks jacked.
Why are you right. That's crazy. This nigga does look like he can still go.
Hillbilly Jim probably is legitimately still wrestling on the indies at this point in time, probably. In this 2001 bubble time.
That nigga looks sprue. Oh, shit. What the fuck?
He's trying to get a contract after this. He said, fuck this.
He still got
man.
a hairline and everything. That motherfucker look like he can
He
go.
made a point to take his hat off.
Brother Love, Bruce Pritchard.
Good old Brother Love.
I love you. I hate this fucking gimmick. I hate this fucking gimmick. He looks so red right now.
It was all about the old school evangelical preachers. That's how he built this gimmick. That's what it's based off of.
That makes sense.
Shout out to the gimmick Battle Royal. Because boy, like I said, I never realized there were so many gimmicks until they had a match on the wall.
Oh, who's this music? I know this music. Yeah, Sergeant Slaughter.
Shout out to the Sarge. Follows us on Twitter.
Supporter of the pod, Sergeant Slaughter. Hell yeah.
Supporter of the pod.
I fuck with Sarge. Him and Shiki are like the only two gimmicks in here that I actually fuck with. Look at that shit.
So you hear Bobby Heenan? Now he's shooting blanks. Like, what is, like all these jokes are out of control.
Now he's shooting.
What are these
blanks.
packages they put together? Like, nobody want to see this old shit. Like,
I'm good with the Sarge, okay? I'm good with the Sarge. You can leave the gobbledygooker at home, but the Sarge, I'll take the Sarge, okay?
There's so many people in this ring.
There's too many people in this ring.
Hell yeah.
Look, even Kamala's beekeeper gets to fucking wrestle. Look at this shit.
Call this nigga a beekeeper. I don't think that was his name or his.
I don't know. He just looks like a
safari guide or something, or like he's like. Oh God, because I'm just feeding the stereotype. If I talk more about it, so I will just stop. Because Kamala's gimmick is just a setback about 250 years.
Right.
People.
All right, so Gobbledygooker's gone. Tugboat.
God.
Is that Tugboat?
Yeah, I think Tugboat
is gone.
Boated out.
And Jim Cornette is still in this match. That's insane. He's fighting Bruce Pritchard back there.
Of course he is. I can see it. I can see them saying that in the back. Like, we'll just beat the shit out of each other until we gotta get out of there.
Earthquake is gone. This is hilarious. Oh God. People putting in work. Look at Michael P.S. Hayes.
Throwing boots at people and shit.
I love this. No wonder this shit was so entertaining to me as a kid.
Yes.
Going back and actually knowing a lot more of these gimmicks now as an adult is
I'm shocked that they keep this match under 4 minutes long, involving this many people.
Hey, they're professionals. They know when to get the fuck out at least.
True. And they ain't trying to be there much longer. They got their check anyway.
Oh, there goes one half of the Bushwhackers, and I'm pretty sure the second one's pretty soon to go.
I'm sure part 2's coming soon.
Oh, Cornette is gone. There's Cornette. Damn. That was Duke the Dumpster Drozie's gone. And the Wilson tennis racket's going with Cornette. The Goon is getting his ass whooped by Bruce Pritchard.
That's wild that Bruce Pritchard is whooping the Goon's ass. Is the Goon wearing real wrestling boots or ice skates? I think he's wearing ice skates.
Ice skates.
I hate it.
Without the fucking blade.
I hate it all.
The Goon's out. Nikolai Volkov is out. Teddy Long is going to throw him out as a referee. This is so weird.
Teddy Long is the ref. Wow. Shout out to Teddy Long.
Shout out Teddy. All right, so everyone's kind of just looking at each other now. One man gang is squashing Bruce Pritchard in the corner. Doink the Clown is gone.
Kamala clearing house.
Michael P.S. Hayes is gone. Michael took a little bump there. Okay.
Yeah, he did.
One man gang is now gone. We got Pritchard, Kamala, Sergeant, Hillbilly. Oh, Kamala.
4 in the ring.
Gone. Eliminated. All right,
How
Sarge
did they let Bruce Pritchard stick around for this line? Brother love. That's
He
crazy.
probably produced it.
Facts.
Gonna put himself over. Oh, yeah. And then Shiki gets the win over Hillbilly Jim. Look at that. Let's go, Shiki.
I don't think Iron Sheik did anything in this match until then.
You think Hogan would have been in this match if he wasn't, if he was available?
Oh, if Hogan wasn't sitting at home right now on purpose because of those special contracts they had with WCW and Time Warner, I think Hogan probably would have been involved. You would have at least got a finger point at the top of the aisle from Hogan at the very
A finger
minute.
point and a leg drop at least.
Oh, you know he's leg dropping somebody. How dare I not book a leg drop?
Matter of fact, he leg dropping one of these niggas. Like,
Facts. Sheik's catching the leg drop, no doubt.
Knowing Hogan, he would have just came in at the end of the match and caught a leg or got a leg drop in on Sheik.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and the sergeant gets the final laugh and he chokes him out.
Just choked out the Sheik with the Cobra clutch.
Good shit, Sarge.
What an
Keep
interesting
supporting.
match. I'm surprised that was so smoothly booked. You would expect a clusterfuck with what we just talked about came into the ring, but they got in and out.
Exactly. They got the job done.
Gene
It was
Okerlund
smooth.
dropped his infamous line of getting your hand out of asking Bobby Heenan to get his hand out of his pocket. Love it.
Jesus. After that smooth line, we cut to a video package of one of the bigger feuds going on at the time, because if I'm not mistaken, this is when Triple H returned from injury. Yeah. Okay.
He's wearing the outfit that he came back from his injury from.
So, yes, this is when Triple H came back from his first injury to a huge pop, gets into a feud with Deadman Incorporated, biker, Hell's Angel, Undertaker. And they get into a really, really, I won't say blood feud, but it got pretty heated. It was entertaining. Long feud, lasted weeks. A Triple H feud, nonetheless, very entertaining. Lots of story.
Yeah.
To the point of there was injuries, papers being served. I think Taker did something to Stephanie, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. Oh yeah, he got Kane on Stephanie. That's what it was.
Yep.
All types of shit. Yeah, they ended up kidnapping her, threatening, basically blackmailing Regal and Trips to give him a match at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Great video package. Kind of tells the story, gets you in the feels if you didn't know all the information about why they're fighting.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of random, Triple H and Undertaker fighting it out. But the entrances actually start out with Motorhead. R.I.P. Kenny. He is no longer with us.
Yeah.
The main singer of Motorhead, he is gone. But they deliver a great performance here, and I think actually in another Mania we're gonna watch of Triple H's theme. Because they actually sing it, if you didn't know that. I mean, I think everybody does that knows wrestling. Yes, Motorhead does the Triple H theme, plays him to the ring in live setting. Triple H walks out looking steroided the fuck up. This is before he's off cycle.
Oh yeah.
Yep, water bottle in hand. No belt, which kind of looks weird on Triple H.
Yeah.
I'm used to him with a belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, by all means, I'm used to him with the belt. Does his classic water spit, assaults the front row with all types of liquids, pause. Classic Triple H entrance.
Yeah, man.
Other than that, you get your Deadman Incorporated Taker.
Oh,
A
yeah.
little bit something different from the classic, big Wyatt Earp hat and trench coat. And they have a aggressive ass match,
Yeah.
if I say so myself. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I wouldn't expect to be any different. Like, it's Undertaker and Triple H, and they ain't really wrestled a match yet until this point, if I remember correctly.
Facts. I like The Undertaker. I was never really one for very long Undertaker matches. I feel like Taker matches need to be 10 minutes tops.
Yep.
10 minutes tops. This one, if I'm not mistaken, this one went almost 20. So
Yeah.
This almost doubled what I usually think an Undertaker match should do. But they played it out in the right way, if that makes sense. They ended up going, brutal slobber knocker, like JR would say, in the ring.
Yeah.
They brought that shit to the crowd, to the production booths. There was an infamous spot where he choke slams him off the top of the damn production booth after fucking chair shots and shit like that. It's fucking crazy. Great match. What were you? Because I know this was probably something that you saw. I don't know how old were you when this came out?
I was in 8th grade.
8th grade. So you were pretty cognizant of this match. Did you watch this as a kid, or did you have to wait till you were an adult to fully watch this match?
No, I watched this whole pay-per-view front to back.
Oh, okay. All right, nice. I didn't get to see that live. I saw it as a kid VHS, but I can imagine watching this shit live how it was. This is some fucking vein slaps right here.
Yeah, this whole match. It's crazy.
Because this is like that perfect mix of sports entertainment and wrestling, in my opinion.
I agree.
Because hard hitting, they go through everywhere. It's a 20-minute taker match, which I think shouldn't be two things said in a sentence together, but it works. And then they bring it all back to the ring. I think Taker ends up getting the dub here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so Taker ends up getting the dub. This is also, not many people would know, a reason Triple H had to start using real sledgehammers again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
That is a very big thing. Undertaker gets him up for a last ride sometime during this match. Right here, actually.
Yep, you're right.
Triple H
he hits him over the head. Yeah, I remember this spot.
So what happens is, I think a piece of the wood caught Undertaker on the head or something. I can't remember what happened, but the fake one that was rigged to be safe ended up causing most of the damage because the actual plastic and wood on the top caused him to get busted the fuck open, like the hard way.
Yeah.
So therefore, Triple H had to start using real sledgehammers, but just covering the metal part of it, which is why that's what you see him do from there forth on whenever he grabs a sledgehammer. But yes, that is a real busted open cut right there. That is not a working blade job. That's the hard way right there from a faux sledgehammer, unfortunately. Taker gets the dub with the last ride. Great Taker match. Honestly, one of my top 3 favorites.
And it never gets talked about. It's kind of like a match you forget he even had, especially because they had the banger match in 10 years from this one, basically. So you forget about this shit. So I wasn't mad at it. And people hate on this version of Undertaker, man. It's one of my favorite versions of him, man. I loved when he was doing the badass gimmick, man. It was fun for me. It made him a human being.
Exactly. He wasn't this spectral phenomena. Like, he was a real person. And it was completely different from what they did beforehand, because he started wearing jeans and cutoff shirts, bandanas, riding motorcycles, actually talking like a human and not this possessed being. Like, it was an actual dude named Mark cutting a promo about how he's gonna beat your ass next Friday, and you ain't got shit to do about it but like it type shit. So great. Like you said, made him a person. Yes. I love it. Favorite character from me, from Undertaker. And then he rides off into the sunset. We're gonna get the classic Taker throw up the fist at the fist. Throws up the fist. Exit scene. Cut to the final boss.
Yes.
Carrying his championship. Stone Cold in his Stone Cold shirt. Shout out Stone Cold. About to go out to the ring, basically.
Yeah.
Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, this is it.
This is it. We got to watch the promo package.
Are we gonna watch?
Do
the
we
promo
have to?
package?
No, we don't have to. No, we've seen it. No,
everyone has seen this. Okay,
yeah,
so for anybody that's been living under a rock, or you're new to professional wrestling, WrestleMania 17 X7 spawned one of the most popular, the most talked about, and another go argue with the wall moment of the best promo package to ever exist in professional wrestling. It is the My Way Limp Bizkit Austin Rock promo package. That shit is legendary. Down to some of their first meetings, to their little, back and forth on Raw, shit with Vince and Stone Cold's wife, interviews, run-ins, saves, like friendly moments, non-friendly moments, all down to changing and exchanging blows and title shots, all types of shit. Great promo package. If you have not watched it, or it's been a while since you've watched it, highly encourage you to turn that shit on.
Yeah, can't hurt.
Go watch it. Go watch it.
Good TV watch.
Absolutely. So we are gonna start this from, I could say what? Austin's entrance? You wanna do Austin's entrance, or do you wanna skip the entrances? We can do it from, we can skip the entrances or go Austin's entrance. Which one do you wanna do?
I love Austin's entrance. This is the last time. This is his last match. So I think we have to get the entrances in. Just pay homage to the man.
Absolutely. We'll do Austin's entrance. All right. So we're gonna start this at 3 hours, 6 minutes, and 6 seconds.
Damn. It would have been crazy if it was 3 hours, 16 minutes.
That would have been crazy. That would have been nice.
Close.
The glass breaks. All right, so we're doing the glass breaks. The glass breaks at 3 hours, 6 minutes, and 11 seconds.
That's fair.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. All right, 3 hours, 6 minutes, and 11 seconds. And we get the arguably best Stone Cold theme song, the Disturbed version of Glass Shatters.
It's up there.
Fucking love it. It's the first one that I experienced in a live wrestling setting. So it's just near and dear to my heart. The second one is the one before this, the one on No Mercy and all the video games.
Yep.
That's the second. But that Disturbed one, that's the shit to me.
It matches this version of Austin perfectly. Just doesn't know he's just very all over the place, this Stone Cold.
Exactly.
So it all makes sense. He's just unhinged. Stone Cold, basically, at this point. Nobody can do Stone Cold better than Stone Cold, man. This character work, man. He sold being a badass better than anybody I've ever seen before.
I give you that.
Nobody ever questioned it. Nobody questions that this dude is not this dude.
Oh, Stone Cold will forever be that nigga from late 90s. He was cemented. He's always going to be that dude. He's going to be the top draw whenever he was active. Top merch seller, like you said earlier. Till this fucking day. Which is so wild to say. This is his last WrestleMania in 2001. In the year 2024, he is still a top merch seller.
That's nuts.
If that doesn't tell you the dude's a fucking draw, then I don't know what to tell you.
Facts. Shit, I know I got a Stone Cold shirt. Wiseman wearing his shirt right now. So
I got my Stone Cold shirt on right now.
Yes, that tells you all you need to know.
I'm about to buy another. I'm gonna get the What joint. I never had a What shirt. I want to get one.
That's fire because you don't see those around too much.
Next we get The Rock, People's Champ, the current champion at this time, WWF champion, walking down to the ring. I like this version of The Rock. Yeah, Babyface Rock's cool. I don't know. I think I'm still a little too hyped up off the final boss to give an accurate assessment of this Rock, because it just seems a little lackluster right now.
That's fair, though. That's fair. It's hard. I mean, I know recency vibes aside, that final boss character is obscene as far as I said on a recent episode of a main pod, there's no heel in current wrestling that's even close to what that character exudes. Close. The next heel is if this was a 1 to 10 scale, the final boss takes up 1 to 9, and then MJF's at 10, and MJF isn't even active right now. So,
yeah, I give you that.
As far as drawing heels, ain't nobody drawing like that. And that's not even, take away the whole he's The Rock thing. He did the work. he did the things to make this character. This is not lazy. He does everything. Rock, is so blatant. And
The Rock made me eat my fucking words.
Same.
The week after we talked that shit, he was like, "Oh, really? Okay." And then I just saw him just spoon feeding me my own words, and I'm just like, I can't do shit but accept it at this point. What does he say? You can do. You got two things, nothing, and you can do two things, nothing, and like it.
Right.
That's how I felt, because it's like, fuck, I can't deny this.
Yep.
This is the shit. I love it. Like, he's doing amazing work. He's bumping. He's wrestling, cutting promos. He's in the zone with his character.
I'll say
I can't do nothing. Yeah.
Would take away Final Boss doesn't exist. Take all of that stuff that you just said, that we both said away. This the best version of The Rock?
Oh no, heel Versace shirt is the best version of The Rock.
Like, okay, fair enough. Fresh out the nation.
Yeah, fresh off the nation type shit. That arguably is my favorite version of The Rock if the Final Boss doesn't exist. But I'm gonna give the Final Boss 6 months, and then I'm gonna come back and assess it.
It's hard
and if
not
it's
to.
Still my favorite. It's very hard not to, because there was everything about all Rocks that put into that one character.
And that's exactly what him and his team did. I feel like they went and took all the qualities of all the runs of characters he's created and put all the good stuff in a pot and mixed it up and gave us what we have.
Us the Final Boss. Like he likes to say. But no, great assessment of that. That is definitely a cauldron cooking moment with that character being presented to us. Because you can see certain aspects of him in this Rock that we're seeing at X7.
Yes.
Not he's babyface still, but you do see certain elements of it. No, the wrestling isn't all there with the Final Boss as versus this version of The Rock, but 20-something years will do that to a human.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's very understandable. I don't knock him for that at all. But with this is a different version of The Rock at the time. This is a very electrifying babyface, I'm for the people, cut jokes, talk shit type of Rock.
Yeah.
Against a very serious and goal-oriented Stone Cold.
Goal-oriented
is what I'll say.
It's a special way to put that. I was going to say operating on fear.
Really? What do you mean by fear?
Fear of not winning this title and beating The Rock. Like he said in the promo, I gotta beat you, dog. I have to beat you.
Because he hasn't beaten up until this point, yeah?
The fear of not doing the thing. That's what he's operating off of. That's in my opinion, that's why we get what we get at the end of this match. Because he needed to make sure he secured the deal to beat him.
I think we're both onto the same thing. He's goal-oriented in his fear.
Yes, that's why I liked how you put it, because it could be described as two different things, but they kind of mean the same thing.
Exactly, because he's going all the way to the extent of, I think JR even says it, he sells his soul to the devil. He makes a deal with the devil. Yeah, he makes a deal with the devil, Vince McMahon. All the way to the person who you've been beating the shit out of and stunning their entire family lineage for how many years at this point? This is 2001. Better part of 6 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Like quite a while. Yeah, it was, 5-6 years, something like that. Yeah, sold your soul to the devil, makes a great story, but at the same time, he was so goal-oriented, he was willing to do anything in order to win.
Yep.
And that even means turn heel, turn into a piece of shit, beat the fuck out of The Rock, and sell his soul to the one man that he hates. I'm with it. I'm fucking with it. But you can see him just desperate all of this match, just super desperate.
Yep.
Even in the wrestling that you see early stages in the match, he looks desperate to get The Rock the fuck up out of there.
Yep.
Before he catches a couple rock bottoms and takes a 1-2-3.
It's pretty wild to see, because you described it dead on as far as what this match is telling us as far as story from Austin's perspective. The Rock, to the point of the babyface comments, he always, as a babyface, still is a tweener, I feel like, because of the stuff he does as a babyface. The stuff he says more specifically.
Okay.
So, him getting beat down like this, as we'll see, it was kind of jarring to a middle school BA, because The Rock don't usually get his ass whooped to that degree like that all the time. Like, yeah, and we'll get into it, but that was the big thing with me and this babyface Rock was like, oh wow, he's really a babyface. Because usually babyface Rocks in the past was more on the Austin vibe of, oh, he's just a heel, but everybody loves his heel shit, so he's a babyface. Like, whereas with this version was like, oh no, he's doing traditional babyface shit. He's getting his ass kicked like a babyface. It's that kind of stuff.
I could feel that. It's a different tone setter for me, because I came in watching this as a rerun around, like 2003. So I didn't have an active Stone Cold or Rock really ever in my wrestling.
You didn't get Hollywood Rock Part 1?
I came in right after, like, actually cognizant of what I was watching.
Okay.
I came in right after Hollywood Rock.
Okay.
Like, as a little kid. That's when I was, like, locked into the product. I'm here. Like, WrestleMania, I'll even say WrestleMania 19 or 20. Okay. That's really when I was into the product. So I never got a full Austin run. Never got a full Rock run. Even the Hollywood Rock, the fall off of that, never really got it.
Yep.
So this was my exposure, and some of my WrestleMania 14 through 17 and 18 was like my intro to Rock and Stone Cold.
Which
so
makes sense.
anything in there, that's initial impression. So it's not that surprising for me to see Rock get the shit beat out of him like this. Seen it a million times on reruns, old clips of SmackDown, certain pay-per-views, not new news to me. So I wasn't shocked to see this babyface get the shit beat out of him by Stone Cold Steve Austin. I was encouraging it.
Yeah, I could see from when you say it out loud, like to not be surprised to see this babyface get his ass whooped by Austin. I get that part of it when you say it specifically like that. I guess my shock on it is just because The Rock don't have the normal resources that he would if he was more operating in that heel zone. That's where more my shock is. And I say that to be like somebody that can help him out or do his dirty bidding for him. I don't know. Well, that's the glory of the babyface. You don't have dirty business. You don't do weapons. You don't do underhanded tactics. It's all a part of your abilities and cleanly winning against your opponent. Yep. Unless you are in blood feuds, then certain things can happen and you can act like an asshole or use weapons or be aggressive if it's gotten that personal. But with The Rock here, he doesn't have any alliances, so to speak. The one alliance he thought he had with actual management just turned his back on him at the end of this match. Doesn't really have family like that at this point. Rock's on his own. See what you're saying.
Yeah.
More than he's not.
Yeah. Exactly. Because even a babyface could have some people to help him out in some way if he's getting fucked over, i.e. what we just saw this past WrestleMania.
Right.
Won't go into detail with it, but if you've seen it, you've seen it. You know what I'm talking about. So you don't always have to be a heel to have people to help you out in certain situations. But The Rock is a one-man gang going into this. Absolutely.
I can't deny them being a one-man gang. Especially like post-Nation, the Nation, he never really had anybody. He didn't need anybody. He was holding his own. So I get that half of it.
I mean, he had Mick Foley. I guess that was like the best contrast with that to me, because you had Mick Foley and The Rock being such the cocky asshole cool guy, no one can be friends with him. And then Mick Foley, such the weird, no one likes to be around him type of guy, that they're the only two people that can be friends with each other.
Right.
And that kind of made the greatest alliance, in my opinion. So yeah, to that, Rock can't keep friends. Rock don't have friends. Rock don't need friends.
Right.
And sometimes, like in this situation, it came to bite him in the ass because some alliances were definitely needed here.
Yep.
Especially when Stone Cold is selling his soul to the devil.
Facts. There's plenty he could have used. I don't think the Rikishi promos happened yet. That I did it for the Rock promo.
I did it for the Rock.
You could have asked Rikishi to look over or help him out. So,
what is he gonna do? Stink face Vince McMahon? That nigga ain't gonna do nothing.
Oh hell nah.
Rikishi was nowhere near fucking and Rikishi was nowhere near main event level to run in on Rock and Austin.
Nah,
like
the closest
that motherfucker. What was it? Wasn't it the Royal Rumble of this year that he did the whole Too Cool dance and shit like that again? Like,
I think so. That sounds about right.
the 2001 Royal Rumble, yeah. Like I'm pretty sure Rikishi is like as mid card as you can fucking get at this point.
Yeah, the only time Rikishi was booked on like the top of the card was there was a Hell in a Cell match with him and Undertaker
where he got thrown off. Yeah, I remember that.
That was like the highest
into the
book Rikishi ever was. After that,
or when he was fucking booked with The Rock.
Yes, yeah, he's involved in all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
I think that was on the way back down.
Oh, yeah, he hit a couple high spots on the way back down, but he definitely fell down. Which I liked Rikishi as a wrestler, but nothing main event there for me, brother, unfortunately. Glad he spawned some main eventers, though, and some good people, but him himself, I ain't putting Rikishi in no main event around 2000, 2001. I'm sorry.
Nah, not at that point in
Rock,
time.
Rock getting some explosive offense. This is the comeback kid in him right now.
Yeah.
Look how Stone Cold just bumps around this ring.
And that's where the lines are blurred because Stone Cold had a ton of injuries coming into this match. So I'm thinking like, oh, it's the injuries quote, but he could just be selling the blood that he's lost. You never know.
It probably is adrenaline too. I mean, you've had moments where you've had adrenaline. You don't feel shit on your body, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're so focused on something. And especially if I was wrestling in a main event title match at Wrestlemania and almost 70,000 people, I'd have adrenaline too. Most definitely.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Mm-mm.
But both of these dudes are fucking bleeding like pigs right now.
Yeah. Can't tell me no blood got on anybody in the crowd.
That's what I'm saying. They had to have gotten fucking splashed a little bit by some foreign blood. They don't even know who it came from. That's how much there is.
Austin bleeding like a stuck pig.
Exactly, bro. This is nasty. See, there's so many JR lines we're dropping on this one.
Oh yeah, he can't help it. He's definitely an Austin on the guy.
Barricade. Oh God, yeah, he's an Austin guy, man. I mean that Sooner ass nigga loves him some Texas Rattlesnake.
Oh yeah, that make no sense.
He's definitely an Austin guy. I hated these moves. Just the catapults. These made no sense to me. These look like such the stupidest, gimmickiest moves. Like, then he gets up. He sells it really well, but Jesus, I hate these fucking moves.
It's just sloppy for no reason.
No reason at all. It doesn't look believable at all.
All right, I get it.
See, at this point, it's these points in these matches. I know they gotta take rest to not get blown up or do some shitty botches because they're too tired. But Jesus, man, like sometimes these matches slow down tremendously, especially in these main events, to where it gets unbearable a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting for Vince to come down. So
you know it's coming.
Shenanigans can start.
And I just hate when I'll get into it when he comes down. Just how much they have to do to get the Rock to lay down for a 3 count. It's obscene.
I was thinking the same thing. We're gonna count it too.
It's beyond. It's beyond Roman Reigns levels of.
It's beyond any levels. It's beyond any level. I go on Twitter almost every day and see people complain about, oh, there's so many false finishes and all this shit. I'm like, bro, have you watched this match? Do you see how many times The Rock kicked out?
Of everything.
I'm thinking there was at least 10 false finishes just on The Rock's part. Like, here's one. 1, 2.
Them 2.9s.
Them 2.9s, bro. You think Roman kicks at 2.9? This nigga Rock is kicking at 2.99999 continuously. Best kick out in the goddamn business at this point, from what I'm seeing. Because this shit is ridiculous. Look at this spot. I love this. Give him the middle finger. Catch it. Oh. And then into, oh God, the sharpshooter. The Rock delivers the sloppiest, most non-believable sharpshooter I've ever seen.
It's just lazy looking. It's just loose. It's like, shout out to my rollers out there. It's like a loose L, just loosey goosey.
Yeah, that's why you said that. I just found a hole in mine.
See, analogy's well timed and true, because The Rock needs to go to like maybe the what was Stu Hart's old, what was it called, the Lion's Den or some shit?
The dungeon.
The dungeon, yes, the dungeon. He needs to go to the dungeon so Stu Hart can throw him in the sharpshooter, tell him how it's really done. Because I'm sure Stu Hart taught Bret Hart that move. You can't tell me Bret Hart came up with that on his own. Or he might have, but I highly doubt it. Nothing's original in wrestling.
Either Stu Hart helped him come up with that, or that was some shit that they saw in Stampede that they're like, oh, we should use that.
And that's probably what it was. Everything that's good in wrestling was taken from a time frame in the past where it worked.
From some fucking indie or side promotion, you know, some territory that Vince bought. Trust me, I know. Shit's mad stupid.
The Rock is now leaking like a stuck pig. They just bleed all over each other. It's gross.
I thought he was finna drink it like fucking Swerve Strickland. He was bending over him like that. Pause. And now Austin is gonna go for a sharpshooter. This instantly reminded me. You ever play SmackDown versus Raw 2007?
Not 07.
So there's a certain one, like an ability where you can steal your opponent's move after a certain amount of momentum, and this is all it reminds me of, because when you put that game on the hard difficulty, you just go back and forth stealing each other's moves and shit. It's hilarious.
Oh, I could imagine.
This is exactly what I think of. Rock doing stunners and Austin doing rock bottoms and sharpshooters.
None of it makes sense. The Rock's just a superhero.
The Rock is a superhero. He's the black superhero.
This is before it, but I see where you're going there.
This is the true black superhero right now. I think he wanted to make Black Adam a couple years after this.
Yeah, I believe so.
He conceptualized it, if I'm not mistaken. He will not let him put him in this fucking sharpshooter. Just lock it in. God damn it. All right, cool. So he locked in another sharpshooter.
And they're so close to the ropes when they do these sharpshooters, too. I'm just like, what did you think? You pull him to the middle if you want to get a chance to get this dude to quit off of this? Or
It's all the blood in his eyes. He thinks he's closer or farther away than he actually is. And he just reaches out and grabs it. That's hilarious.
Ben did that.
It's no DQ, ref. What are you going to do? Disqualify him? Dumbass? Right. You got to escape the shit. Fuck that rope hold.
Stone Cold, man. This is, and this to be his last match. I said it earlier when we were pre-potting. It's crazy how long this match is for it to be his last one. He came into this match with a ton of injuries, a ton of stuff going on with him. I think he's in the process of the divorce with Deborah, I believe. So Austin's hurting right now. He's
that tracks.
Physically, mentally, spiritually, my man's broken, and you would not be able to tell in this match. Is why I say that. I give him much respect as a professional. Cause
I'd give him that much too. Coming into a match broken and beaten, and then putting on a 40-minute fucking vein slapper like that. That's
right.
That's insane. Look, he going Hogan up.
Oh, you know it.
Look at that.
I know we don't get it till next year, but The Rock's channeling Big T.
Old Terrence.
Terrence Bollea.
I saw
Terror to you, brother.
If that shit was funny, I saw a promo of Ken Kennedy calling that nigga Terrence in TNA. That shit was hilarious.
That's good shit.
That nigga looked pissed off, man.
I'm bet.
It was great.
Shout out to Mr. Kennedy.
Oh, that's still someone I would love to interview.
Oh yeah, me too, man. That'd be a great interview.
Ken Kennedy is the shit. But he's not on this card, so I don't want to deep dive into Ken Kennedy right now because I know I will.
It's easy.
So this is kind of back and forth. Oh, move steal. We got a rock.
There's
Stone
so many
Cold
move
Stunner.
steals. I feel like there's another wrestling game that did move steals too.
Probably. I'm not. No Mercy did it.
That's what it was. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you did a special, which is kind of weird, I figured out how to do the move steal special before how to do an actual special. So I always accidentally did the steal move. And yeah, it's a special input you can do. But yeah, No Mercy, you can do it as well. That's just built into the game. It's not an actual ability, but yeah, that was the shit.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, here he goes.
The chairman of the board.
Mr. Redacted.
Mr. Redacted. I love Mr. Redacted. That is his name moving forward. Never say his name again. Mr. Redacted.
Oh,
love it.
Shit.
That'll keep us all out of trouble. And it's funny. So he's walking down all pissed off.
All serious. Hell yeah, he just got his ass whooped by his son. What do you think?
Nah,
He got his ass whooped by his son. His divorcee wife got out of her vegetative state and kicked him in the nuts. He lost his sex slave, and his daughter got his ass beat. So he had a pretty bad night.
Sex slave.
He had a pretty bad night.
Yep. Doesn't shock me. God almighty. What false finish is that? 3?
Something like that. And everyone's down here thinking, I guess at the time Stone Cold was going to get screwed over.
I'm sure.
That's at least what they're expecting. But soon to find out, Spinebuster by The Rock. And I want to know, for anybody that can actually answer me this question, I asked BA before the pod, how much do one of these people's elbow bands, guards, pads, whatever, go for? Like, just like this one right here. If anybody can track down the WrestleMania 17 people's elbow pad, I would love to know how much that was purchased for. Or if anybody has even sold it, because I feel like those would go for, like you said, a few $1,000s.
At least. I mean, because he, even like when he used to have the special like print, he used to have something on his elbow pads like before this run of The Rock. Like he used to have like stuff on them, like to know like this is a Rock elbow pad. Like
Not just a generic black elbow pad.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was wondering, like, how do you even differentiate? Unless you found them after WrestleMania to ask them to sign it.
What if you had what if you just had a camera of you, like a Kodak camera of you holding it up at WrestleMania? I mean, that's proof.
That'd be dope.
Another move steal. We get a Austin Rock Bottom.
So many
or
move steals.
A Stone Cold Bottom. I don't know.
Stone Cold Bottom is a wild name.
I just thought about what I said. I'm sorry.
Man. Hey, no apologies here. Just graps, brother. It's sports entertainment.
Yeah,
as this is
sports entertainment. There we go.
Another false finish from The Rock.
I think that's number 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Why did they want to make him look so strong? This is just, you got to build up your champs, I guess. Like this.
Ref bump.
Is
this a Jeff Jarrett match? That's wild.
It's a Jeff Jarrett match.
Jeff Jarrett matches always have ref bumps.
Oh, you know it.
Low blow. Austin is solidifying his heel status. We were talking and bantering over the big moment, but a couple minutes ago, Vince went in. If you're watching along, you saw it. If not, Vince went in the ring, pulled Rock off of the pin from Austin. That was basically the sign of, he's done the deal.
The turn.
Yeah, we're turning, brother. This motherfucker's turning around.
I paid a lot for Austin, damn it.
Vince has the chair. People think he's gonna blast Austin with it. Indeed not. Well, intentionally at least.
Right.
He holds up the Rock. Oh wait, no, he actually does get that chair shot. So he blasts Rock with a chair, further solidifying I'm on Austin's side. This is going to be false finish. It would be at least number 5, but we're not going to give it that. Oh, I guess we will.
Just throwing refs into the ring.
Get a slow count, 2, and a kick out. False finish number 4 or 5. Austin looks pissed that he can't get this Samoan down for the count. The motherfuckers just don't go down that easy, man.
Oh, they don't.
Look, he looks pissed the fuck off. Grabbing the chair. Rock just looks helpless now. I don't even think Rock gets in any offense for the rest of the match.
I don't think he does. I think this is just a matter of him just trying to hang on for survival.
At this point, absolutely. Oh, no, there it is. Rock bottom. He grabbed. Oh, my God.
That's like
Pops
his
up.
last offense.
Vince McMahon pulls the manager distract in WWE 2K, if anybody plays that. That shit be so annoying. I hate that shit.
Hella annoying.
And throws him into the ring. Rock now has dragged Vince, and Vince is taking these people's I don't even know what to call them. Just shots?
People punches?
the people's punch. I don't know. We get a Stone Cold Stunner into arguably one of the best sells of the Stunner Rock ever does. Back flips and everything into the ropes.
Out.
And he still kicks out. That is like the 6th false finish.
I believe you are at least close.
Close. I'm very close, at least.
Yes.
That's the 6th one. Austin gets the chair from Vince and gets in a menacing pose. Look at that. Them knees are extended.
Yes, wow.
Unprotected chair shot.
Now, you
and
know
Rock goes down.
Hopefully this is it. Unprotected chair shot? I would imagine that'd be it, or no?
You are mistaken, BA, because that's a kick out.
Big mistake.
He activated his R2 and triangle for resiliency, and he kicked the fuck out. He ain't taking no pin right now.
This man's energy bar is on red. You can't tell me no different.
Oh, stamina bar, red. body and head are on red. Like everything. This man's done.
Yes.
He has nothing left in him. Austin is going to take this chair and proceed to just break every bone in his torso, it seems like.
Yeah, that's vicious.
Just stomping and stomping, and then boom, flips the chair and give him some of the mightiest sports entertainment back shots you have ever seen. Pause.
No diddy. Jeez. Yes, he beats him profusely with this chair.
3. The fucking chair shots win 6 false finishes.
And he didn't get to lay his shoulders down on the 3 until he beat him senseless with the chair into his torso and his head.
That nigga took 3 rock bottoms and 2 stunners.
Insane. I think the weirdest part of this match to me is just how long the turns happen and how long it takes for it to actually come to fruition and for them to get the cover. That's the strangest thing.
Did we know that at the time?
Oh, because of the handshake, and then you got the chair shot where it's accidental, and then, well, I think Vince pulling the Rock off kind of made it seem solidified, but I guess the part that was in question was, is Austin down with this? Vince wants that, but it's Austin want it.
That was the real thing, because Austin is the type of character, he can be a babyface. Like, perfect example, this exact match. If Vince came down, won Austin the match, and then Austin turns around and stuns Vince and drinks his beers and throws up the middle fingers and leaves, no one would bat a fucking eye. Austin would go on as a babyface. Rock got screwed. Hey, Vince, you did what you wanted to do. None of my doing. Fuck you. I'm the champ. That could have worked. This at the same time, so that's why I said, and you pointed out earlier, oh man, that finish kind of sucked but it wasn't all that with the chair.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the focal point of what they were trying to get across here. I think that handshake was the climax of everything. Like, that was it. That's what you came for. The ending of WrestleMania 17's biggest moment was supposed to be Austin agreeing and aligning with Vince McMahon, which totally overshadowed the win of the belt versus Rock.
Fair.
So, hey, whatever, man. I think I liked the match. This is a classic match. Rock versus Austin, always, that's always a 5-star classic in my opinion, so to speak. This is the shit. Austin is going to give him another title shot straight to the dome just for the hell of it. Look, him stumbling to his feet.
Oh, yeah. Drunk
Boom.
walking.
All right. One more just to lay him out. And then staring to the camera. Yeah, staring to the camera, Steve.
You know it. Stone Cold, bro. Hey.
You gotta love Stone Cold. You gotta love the Texas Rattlesnake. Especially this match. Final WrestleMania. Really the ending of his full-time run. So.
Yeah.
Hey.
Sad and crazy. This is the lasting image we have of Austin's full-time run, because he still sticks around for a little while after WrestleMania, but he fades into the background.
He fades into the background only to be called upon whenever the check is right and the booking is appropriate.
Yep.
That's all I can say.
This is an important job, to say the least.
To say the very fucking least.
Yes.
But overall, that people call this the number one WrestleMania. Arguably against 40, but 40 is so fresh. I'm gonna give that time.
Yeah, you gotta get it.
Not counting WrestleMania 40. Do you agree this is hands down the best WrestleMania to exist?
I made a comment, wise man. It was either WrestleMania 2000 episode or one of the more recent episodes of Let Me Book. It was Let Me Book. I classify my favorite WrestleManias as adult WrestleManias versus childhood. And this one was a sleeper because I put over WrestleMania 12 on the show because that one always sticks out to me. This one, seeing that I was in 8th grade, this is where I was starting to phase out, but it all came back to me as soon as I put it on Peacock. To my excitement to do this show, I forgot how fucking fire this card is. So, brother, I gotta change my answer. This pay-per-view is a better pay-per-view than WrestleMania 12 as a holistic pay-per-view. Take away the rosy-colored nostalgia glasses that I'm wearing over WrestleMania 12 when I think about that card. That was also the same card that had Ultimate Warrior versus Triple H. So when I think about those things, and I think about the worst match on this card not being that's a win in itself. So I can't, in good conscience, wise man, say that WrestleMania 12 is better than this. This, I believe, was this in 18, and we might have to do 18 as a bonus episode one day. Because 18's up there too with me. Those last 3 matches at 18, Stone Cold versus Scott Hall, which isn't that memorable, but it's a match. Of course, Rock and Hogan. And then what gets overshadowed on that card is the main event, the title match. I think it was Jericho and Triple H. Yeah. Yep. Gets overshadowed because there's so much pop in the middle of that card, middle to end of it.
Well, you look, this is why they fucked up. They put equal amount of time into Trips and Chris Jericho as they did The Rock and Hogan. You should not have done that. And you did it so far down the card. At that point, you should have main evented with Rock and Hogan, if that's what you're going to do. Because if you look at how they set up the card, they had like 10 or 11 matches. The very last one being Trips and Jericho. The second to last being Jazz and Trish Stratus.
Oh, wow.
Right before that was Rock and Hogan. So you had a 17-minute Rock Hogan match, Jazz and Trish Stratus for 5 minutes, and then the main event of Trips and Chris Jericho.
Interesting way to put that together. And then they always said, I mean, I'll ask you this then, since we're on it. Do you think they really didn't know that was going to happen with, like, they weren't going to, that match was going to be so iconic with The Rock and Hulk Hogan? Like, or do you think that was cap?
They knew it was going to be that iconic. They knew. That's why it's that far down the card. If this was anybody other than Hogan, if this was Rock versus any other legend, this would have happened mid-card. Mid of the card. This would have been the middle to bring you up, and then after they're going to bring you back down and to get you ready for Triple H and Chris Jericho.
Right. And this
I'm thinking Terry pulled a Terry. Essentially. Like, that's all I'm thinking. He said, what was that, brother? Number 6 on the card, bro. No, that doesn't work for me, brother. And shot his ass all the way down to number 10, 9 or 10, and it totally overshadowed the main event.
Yeah, this is where it's hard. You can't involve Hulk Hogan in a WrestleMania as like a side piece, even in this era of wrestling, the 2000s, because he still can go and he still is popular at this time, and we hadn't seen him in so long, as far as a couple years at that point in time. Because
I'm about to say, he was just in the NWO 4 years ago. Like, at this point, it was not that. That's a Roman Reigns title run.
It's long enough, though. It's long enough for where people wanted to see. And you ain't seen him back on WWE TV, WWF TV.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He was so fresh off of a giant run and so popular. You bring him back and you overshadow your main event. So yes, this definitely has to be a bonus episode at some point.
Yeah.
Because we just went into like a 5 or 10 minute talk about WrestleMania 18 at the end of the episode for WrestleMania 17.
It's a fiery time frame of wrestling, man. Like, a lot of, to the point of what the last episode is going to do in this whole trilogy of WrestleManias we're talking about this year. These WrestleManias are how they set up the WrestleManias now, moving forward. Like, the big entrances, the big sets, the big like guest star, the guest performers for people's theme musics and shit like that. Like, this 17 was the culmination of all that starting. It wasn't as big as it was, but you get Lemmy from Motorhead doing this thing with Trips, like, and they do it again in the future. A few years from this,
they do it in 21. Yeah, absolutely. In this one, and even in this one, 18 had what was it, Saliva, I think, do like the opening and the mid performance, and someone did the Dudley Boys shit. Like, there was a few way more than 17, or way more in 18 than there were in 17.
Right.
So that was a good point about that one too. 17 kind of cultivated a lot of the shit that they're going to use in 18. Vince flopped on the ending of 18. They should have switched a few of those matches around, in my opinion. But
that voice is loud, again, brother. Especially when you made so much money.
Yeah, I ain't booking the shit. So hey, who am I to say anything? It's far and in the past. It's 20 years gone.
Yes, it is. 20 years gone.
It's done. And exactly. But that brings us to the very end of the most glorious, the most grappiest, one of the most selling pay-per-views, WrestleManias of all time, in WrestleMania 17. If you were to have to give this an overall vein slap from 1 to 5, how many times are you slapping that arm, man? What are we giving this?
Oh, this is a 5-timer. This is The Rock showing up unannounced as a babyface vein slapper.
Okay.
5, Booker T, 5 times. So yes.
Well, I can't disagree. I'm the same way. This is 5 vein slaps in the Tokyo Dome for sure. Well, it's the Astro Dome actually.
There you go.
5 vein slaps in the Astro Dome.
Tokyo Dome. We got our own domes over here, brother.
Right, brother. 5 vein slaps in the Astro Dome in Houston, Texas on April 1st, 2001. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been our episode. BA, what are the closing words that you have for us? Because I know you always got wisdom.
What wisdom I got for y'all today, man? Thing that says at the top of my mind is enjoy the moments you're sitting in, not the moments that you will be in or the moments you've already lived. is the best I got for you this evening. As we look back at it,
beautiful.
Hey man, that's real. As we look back at a pay-per-view, but also look at it with current eyes and thought processes. That's the beauty of looking back at these different shows. You get different things from them, and I hope that's what we bringing to y'all. We're not just giving y'all the same old reviews. We're trying to put different lenses and different thought processes around things we've loved as young men and women out there in the Graps world. So with that said, till the next time, we out of this bitch. Peace.
What?